Chapter 272. The media personnel in Freedom Square, as well as a large number of gathered citizens, couldn't help but rub their eyes and stare at the figure descending. Yes, I'm not mistaken. It was him. The person who had been shown on TV over and over again. It's Luo Feng, a stuttering voice rang. Luo Feng. This is Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. The entire Freedom Square was boiling. Oh my God! Luo Feng, one of the 8 heroes, the peerless genius worshipped by countless people, was actually still alive. At this moment, countless people were extremely excited. The higher-ups of various countries were shocked. Some ambitious people and people in power were even more confused. For a warrior like Luo Feng, he didn't even need an army. Just him alone was unstoppable. Back then, Hong and Thunder God were above all the countries. With the fall of the 8 heroes, the status of the 5 great countries had increased significantly. Although Atkin was more powerful, he was not as unshakable as Hong and Thunder God. Brother! Luo Hua was very excited. Little Feng, Little Feng. Luo Honggua and Gong Xian Lan looked at the figure that appeared on the screen, and tears of joy flowed down their cheeks. At the office desk, Su Xian looked at the live broadcast on the computer screen. The figure that she missed even in her dreams appeared. She couldn't help but cry tears of joy. She stroked the steel wire ring and was extremely happy. At this moment, Su Xian felt as if she had arrived in heaven. The entire world's citizens were in an uproar, and in Washington headquarters city's Freedom Plaza, the HR Alliance's chairman Atkin was extremely excited. Mr. Luo Feng, when I found out you didn't die, I was extremely excited. I couldn't help but let the entire world know of this good news. However, to be able to see Mr. Luo Feng with my own eyes, I'm really, really excited. I, Atkin, hate myself for not being able to accomplish anything in the battle against the Devourer beast. And now, although the battle with the Devourer is over, the threat of the sea monsters is still there. Hong and Thunder God were not around. Without a leader, the world's experts were like a plate of loose sand. Now that Mr. Luo Feng has returned, it's great. I hope Mr. Luo Feng can lead us and continue to protect humanity from the sea monsters. I'm willing to follow Mr. Luo Feng and fight together, to contribute to humanity. Atkin looked sincerely at Luo Feng. His voice was transmitted through the microphone to every single person's ears in the plaza, to the entire world's televisions and the internet. Luo Feng looked at Atkin. He laughed coldly in his heart. If this Atkin wanted to flee, with Babata's satellite monitoring, and with his own speed, Atkin would have nowhere to run. And now, he actually created such a scene it was obvious that he wanted to let the billions of people on Earth know how much he, Atkin, respected and worshipped Luo Feng. They wanted to follow Luo Feng and fight for humanity. Mr. Luo Feng, Atkin controlled the energy of the universe, isolating the surrounding sounds. A look of shame and awkwardness appeared on his face. I admit, in the face of ambition and desire, I took the wrong path. However, please give me a chance, Mr. Luo Feng. I will return the Muya crystals and spirits of nature that Seigo Neru took from your house. I only hope, give me a chance. And with Mr. Luo Feng's return, even if I was given the guts, I wouldn't dare to mess around. Atkin's attitude was very humble. Atkin thought to himself, the only way is to fight to the death and find a way to survive. It was broadcasted live around the world, and billions of people were watching. Under the media's propaganda, Luo Feng's image was incomparably glorious and perfect. He was the hero of the people. And I respect him. How could he make a move against me? Making a move against me that would destroy his perfect image. Making a move against me would cause countless people to question him. Atkin. Luo Feng said. Mr. Luo Feng. Atkin bowed slightly, appearing very respectful, looking at Luo Feng with a gaze of respect and worship. Who? A blade flew through the air like a beam of light. At such a close distance, it instantly pierced through Atkin's forehead, Even the black skin covering his scalp, the black god set, was immediately sliced through. After piercing through his skull, his consciousness was destroyed and his soul dispersed. The blade followed the original wound and swiftly returned. It was so fast, no one present could even see it clearly. Ah! Atkin stared wide-eyed, almost as though he couldn't believe Luo Feng dared to kill him in such a situation. Rumble! His entire body fell to the ground, blood seeping out of his forehead. Murder! Someone's dead. The entire plaza was in chaos. The entire world's televisions and internet broadcasts were all shocked to the point where they replayed the scene before, even slowing it down. Normal televisions could slow it down to 100 times, only then could they barely see a silhouette piercing through Atkin's head from Luo Feng's body, before swiftly flying back. Mr. Luo Feng, why did you kill Chairman Atkin? The reporters replayed the scene in slow motion, quickly confirming the killer. Mr. Luo Feng. Is it Mr. Luo Feng? How is that possible? If it wasn't Mr. Luo Feng, who else could easily kill Chairman Atkin? The plaza was in chaos. Mr. Luo Feng, can you explain why you killed him? A golden-haired female reporter couldn't believe that her hero would do such a thing. Luo Feng's cold gaze swept across the surroundings. A formless mental pressure caused everyone to calm down. Luo Feng looked down at Atkin's body. Scum, he deserves to die. So, after which he rushed into the sky, swiftly disappearing from the broadcast. The group of reporters were dumbfounded. They quickly reacted. Dear viewers in front of your televisions, Mr. Luo Feng suddenly attacked and killed the HR Alliance chairman Atkin, after which he only said scum. He deserves to die. He didn't explain in detail. As for the details of this matter, we will follow up and report it. A golden-haired beauty said to the camera. Oh my God! It's true, you didn't see wrongly. Mr. Luo Feng killed Chairman Atkin. He only said scum, he deserves to die. Even though Mr. Luo Feng's actions were violent, I, Blackjack, am Mr. Luo Feng's loyal admirer, I believe that Atkin must have done something very despicable. As for the details and the big secrets, Blackjack will definitely bring everyone to investigate. Ever since Luo Feng disappeared from the screen, the various television stations and internet broadcasts all began to discuss and report this matter in detail. Luo Feng stood on the soaring shuttle, flying high in the sky. Looking down at the endless ocean, Luo Feng revealed a rare smile. You still have the mood to smile? Luo Feng, you just killed Atkin, that destroyed your perfect image. You have to know, as one of the 8 heroes, and also known as an absolute genius among the humans of Earth, almost 100% of the internet revered you, your image was absolutely perfect. Now your perfect image is gone. What a pity. Babata said. Perfect? I wasn't perfect in the first place. Luo Feng laughed indifferently. I've never thought of being a perfect person. This person deserves to die, so I'll kill him. Babata couldn't help but think as he heard. Oh, this Luo Feng's possession was indeed influenced by the golden-horned beast's bloodline. His killing intent is much thicker than before. However, I like it. The scorching sun of June couldn't stop the people's passion at all. Yangzhou City, Mingyue District streets had many people gathered. They all raised their heads and waited for Luo Feng to appear. Even the residents of Mingyue District were excitedly waiting for Luo Feng's arrival. Maybe outside of China, there were people who questioned Luo Feng's killing of Atkin. However, in China, where Luo Feng was the pride, without a doubt, almost everyone stood on Luo Feng's side. Luo Feng. A youth holding a pair of binoculars shouted loudly. Immediately, the countless people on the streets, even the people standing on top of the cars, cheered. A silhouette swiftly descended from the sky, landing on the grass patch of Mingyue District. Luo Feng looked towards the direction of the street outside the sector, slightly smiled, and then headed towards his home. This smile caused countless people who admired Luo Feng to cheer. They were extremely excited. At the entrance of his home, Father Luo Hongguo, Mother Gong Xian Lan, wife Su Xian, brother Luo Hua were all there, along with the twins who were already able to stand. Luo Feng walked step by step. His family's eyes were all wet. Call daddy, call daddy. Su Xian held the hands of the two children. They looked almost exactly the same. They looked at Luo Feng, opening their mouths. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Luo Feng was so excited he was crying tears of joy. Ever since Luo Feng returned in June, the world's turbulent situation suddenly stopped. Those ambitious people no longer dared to make a move. The Thunder Dojo and Dojo of Limits once again returned to normal operations. The entire world seemed to have become incomparably united. No one dared to cause trouble. This was Luo Feng's power. After Luo Feng returned home, he first went to pay his respects to the 5 friends who died together with him. M.O. Henderson, Eastbourne, Tripathi Singh, Jia Yi and Sokolov. After which he went to the Dojo of Limits headquarters. Hong and Thunder God were still in deep slumber. After that, Luo Feng and Su Xian held a wedding. Everything was peaceful. The entire world, under Luo Feng's power, was very peaceful too. Winter 2061. Good Ping Ping, come, have another bite. Good boy. Luo Feng carried the small bowl, feeding his other son. Little Hai, come, be good, right, have another bite. Don't be naughty, brother ate 3 bites. You've only eaten 1. Come. Luo Feng looked at his son lovingly, coaxing and feeding him. On the sofa beside, Su Xian was knitting a sweater, smiling as she looked over. Luo Feng, Luo Feng. Babada's voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng's hand that was holding the bowl slightly paused. What's up? That black dragon ship, other than lacking an auxiliary energy system, everything else has been settled. Even though it's still unable to travel through space. However, at least it can reach sublight speed. 100,000 kilometers per second. Babada said, I'm currently in my storage space, repairing the auxiliary energy system. The black dragon ship itself can be used. Didn't you say that the amount of metals collected on Earth was too little? There's no way to train the golden horn beast? Especially the deities of the world, there's no way to train at all. With the black dragon ship, even though it's only sublight speed, within an hour we can reach Mars. You can totally eat breakfast in the morning and head to Mars, return at night from Mars and return home for dinner, Babada said. Chapter 273. With Babada's words, Luo Feng naturally wanted to go. That night, Luo Feng informed his family. Year 2061, December 3rd, morning. The family ate breakfast. Su Xian went to the garage to drive to the company. Luo Feng called out, Dad, Mom, I won't be back for lunch, I'll be back for dinner. Ping Ping, Little Hai, you have to listen to your grandparents at home. Doting on his 2 sons, Luo Feng walked out of the house. His body became a blur in the courtyard, instantly vanishing. High up in the sky. Luo Feng rushed into the sky, swiftly passing through the cloud layer, continuously flying higher. The sunlight above the cloud layer was even more glaring. In one breath, he flew to about 8,000 m above sea level, floating in mid-air. Babada, bring the black dragon ship out, right? Activate the stealth mode, don't let the satellite discover us. Luo Feng's thoughts said. Relax, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's top-class ship. If it was discovered by Earth, that would be a huge joke. Babada said. At the same time, in mid-air beside Luo Feng, a huge black disc-shaped ship with a diameter of about 100 m appeared. On the body of the ship was a huge winged dragon. Luo Feng took a deep breath. A diameter of 100 m, it didn't sound big. However, it was still shocking. In terms of size, it was much bigger than a high school's soccer field. Do! The outer cabin door automatically opened. Luo Feng flew into the laser tunnel. The inner door opened too. Black Dragon Ship's control room. Luo Feng, Demon Babada is at your service. A clear, proud voice resounded throughout the entire control room. On the screen of the control board, Babada's head appeared. Luo Feng smiled. Let's go! Alright. Babata chuckled. 1. A very soft sound, even a warrior like Luo Feng could barely feel a very weak vibration within the ship. This was much more comfortable than a normal car. Do we need to activate the exterior simulation? Babata asked. Simulation level of 10% to 100% is fine. Exterior simulation? Luo Feng was stunned. As the ship's metal body is thick, we can't see outside with our naked eyes, hence we have to go through the exterior simulation. It's similar to Earth's 3D projection, however. The effects are much stronger. Babata explained. Activate 100%. Luo Feng said directly. Shua. The control panel, chairs, and floor of the control room had all disappeared. He was surrounded by a hazy layer of air. The Black Dragon spaceship is flying through the atmosphere and will soon leave Earth. They've already left. Babata's voice resounded around. Luo Feng could see the distant boundless space, vast and boundless space. Luo Feng turned to look behind him. A huge azure planet appeared in his field of vision. Earth. Luo Feng couldn't help but hold his breath. Too beautiful. Although it was common to see such images on the internet and on television, when he actually boarded the spacecraft and saw it with his own eyes, the shock he felt was so deep that it touched his soul. The blue planet was constantly shrinking. The distance between the Black Dragon spaceship and the azure planet grew further and further. Earth. Sunday. Luo Feng's gaze looked behind Earth. In the distance, there was a planet that seemed to be burning in flames, the sun. The spacecraft has accelerated to 100,000 kilometers per second. It will now head to Mars at a constant speed, Babata said. Luo Feng turned his head and looked to the other side. What a dream! Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim. Oh, Babata, over there! Luo Feng pointed to the left. In the distance, there was a huge piece of ice revolving around the gas, and the Black Dragon ship easily overtook it. That's what you call a comet on Earth, Babata said. Luo Feng looked around. In the mysterious but boundless starry sky, there would occasionally be a planet in the distance or even some asteroids, some starry sky dust, and so on. Too beautiful! Luo Feng praised. It's beautiful, but I've seen too much of it. You'll feel bored and cold. Babata said. 10% simulation, said Luo Feng. Shua. The surrounding starry sky instantly became very faint, as if there was a layer of illusion. However, he could still see the Earth and the sun behind him, just that they had become very faint. The floor of the control room, the chairs, the control panel, and the lights all reappeared. This 100% simulation is like my entire body is in space. If I don't use my spiritual force to check, if I don't touch, if I don't sit on a chair and just float, then I won't even be able to feel the existence of the control room. Luo Feng couldn't help but to praise. 100% simulation was indeed amazing. Of course the effects are very good. 100% simulation, this is something only B-grade ships and above have. Babata said. If it's a basic A-grade ship, 50% simulation is already not bad. Unless you install an exceptional external simulation system, that's a very expensive and extravagant expense. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, what's with the ship grades? Even though he had inherited memories, the golden horned beast's inherited memories didn't even mention the human ship grade. A grade corresponds to the star traveler level. B grade corresponds to the star level. C grade corresponds to the universe level. E grade corresponds to the sector lord. F grade corresponds to the undying level. Many items are divided into grades. Like the laser cannon from before, it's AB6 grade laser cannon. Like the mothership we found in archaeological ruin number 12, it's AB grade mothership. Like this Black Dragon Mountain X81, it's AC5 grade ship. As its AC5 grade mothership, even a universe-level warrior would have to spend a lot of effort to destroy it. Also, like energy crystals are the same. They're divided into A, B, C. The higher the grade, the rarer and more expensive they are. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. This was a very simple division. With one look, it was very clear which grade this laser cannon, energy crystal and ship belonged to. Babada, then the list of metals I gave you before, can it be divided like this too? Luo Feng was shocked. Right. The list of metals you gave me for the golden horned beast can be clearly divided into 5 grades. A grade metal, suitable for the Star Traveler level golden horned beast, B grade metal, suitable for the Star level golden horned beast. E grade metal, suitable for the Sector Lord level golden horned beast. Babada confirmed. Luo Feng nodded. The golden horned beast's growth mainly depended on the internal world's growth, and for the internal world to grow, it needed to swallow metals. Swallowing metals was divided into 3 main types. The first, swallowing alloys, ship remains etc., or low-level pure metals, the lowest efficiency. This was also the slowest way for the golden horned beast to evolve. From the star level 1 to the universe level 1, it required 100 years. The second, swallowing pure metals of the same grade. For example, the current Luo Feng, as a star level 3 golden horned beast, could swallow close to 100% pure B-grade metals. If Luo Feng were to reach the universe level, he would need to swallow C-grade metals. This way, Luo Feng's evolution speed could be doubled. From the star level 1 to the universe level 1, 50 years was enough. The price was a large amount of pure metals of the same grade. The third, metal combinations, was like a person eating different types of food, replenishing different types of nutrients to be the healthiest, the same logic. The internal world's growth, if it swallowed multiple metal combinations at the same time, it might have miraculous effects. The evolution speed could be raised by 1 or 2 times, up to tens of times. For example, the star-level golden horned beast, the best metal combination to swallow, was 325 B-grade, 100% pure metals. Also, these 325 pure metals had precise ratios. This way, it could swallow them all at once. The evolution speed would increase to 89 times. Right now on Earth, it's mostly normal metals, only your so-called gold is an A3 grade metal. The blue gold metal you Earthlings found on the Moon belongs to the A6 grade metal. Babada said, there's not a single B-grade metal. Luo Feng nodded. This was also the reason why the golden horned beast swallowed the battle base. Back then, when the golden horned beast reached the star level 1, it couldn't find any B-grade metals on Earth, so it could only casually eat some. The alloy remains of spaceships had the lowest efficiency. It was no different from eating normal metals. The only difference was that the size was smaller. The golden horned beast's evolution relies on metal combinations. Its evolution speed is the fastest. However, even normal metals can still be used for training. However, deities of the world. Luo Feng was extremely helpless. His golden horned beast's 2 secret techniques. Deities of the world and absolute space, of which absolute space relied on large amounts of practice and comprehension. However, deities of the world had extremely strict requirements. Deities of the world allowed the golden horned beast's body to grow or shrink. Hence, to train, one had to directly eat some metal combinations, eat it, and rely on the complex metal ratios to be absorbed by the body, changing some of the golden horned beast's genes, allowing the golden horned beast's body to shrink or grow. It could be said that deities of the world training was secondary. The main point was to eat the metal combinations, and it had to be eaten directly into the stomach. It didn't have to be swallowed into the internal world. And the formulas for deities of the world were even harder and more complex than the highest formula for Luo Feng to evolve and swallow metals. Luo Feng, we're about to reach Mars. The ship is beginning to slow down. Babada's voice resounded. Luo Feng looked over. The exterior simulation of 10% allowed Luo Feng to see the red planet in the distance. The red color was almost orange. It obviously didn't look as good as Earth. Who? The ship quickly entered Mars' atmosphere. Mars' atmosphere was obviously much thinner than Earth's. Babata, prepare to open the cabin door. Luo Feng immediately ran towards the middle cabin door of the ship. As he ran, the cloud contact armor on his body swiftly extended, quickly covering his entire body. His head too was covered in a helmet, only revealing his eyes. The black disc-shaped ship slowly descended. Halfway through, the cabin door opened. So, a human silhouette flew out, his entire body covered in blood-red armor, his cold eyes gazing downwards. Mars' gravity is so small. Luo Feng could clearly feel the difference in gravity between Mars and Earth, immediately adjusting the mini-planet within his body to adapt to Mars' gravity. This is, gazing downwards, Luo Feng could see in the vast sandy ground, in the distance towering huge structures that seemed to be decaying, pyramids. 1, 2, 3 PS. Chapter 1 has ended. Chapter 274. Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at the pyramid. Even though the surface was decaying, the entire structure was still intact. There were a total of 9 pyramids. There didn't seem to be any order to their placement, but these 9 pyramids seemed to be one. Formlessly, they seemed to have formed an incomparably huge pyramid. Pyramids below the pyramids is... Luo Feng was shocked. City? Below the 9 pyramids was a city that only had a rough outline. One could vaguely see the roads and buildings of the city. Obviously, this place has been ruined for who knows how many years. Whoosh! Luo Feng immediately flew over and swiftly descended, landing on the sand-filled ground of Mars. It's been a long time since anyone has been here. Luo Feng looked at the broken walls in front of him, shocked and confused. Babata, what's going on here? Why are you so shocked? Babata said. It's very normal. Of course it's normal. Before Master ruled this starfield, it belonged to the Silver Blue Empire. Babata said, and Earth is one of the 2 planets with life within 1,000 light years. There's another one? Luo Feng was curious. The other planet with life is around 100 light years away from you. Even at light speed, it would take around 100 years, Babata said, unless one reaches light speed and directly travels through the universe. Only then can one arrive quickly. Luo Feng slightly nodded. Earth as a planet with life. And it's also a low-level civilization planet of the Silver Blue Empire, so of course there are many humans living there, Babata said. Its original purpose was a livestock planet, mainly to raise some powerful monsters, then tame them and sell them for money. The number of people living there is estimated to be in the millions, mainly to serve the livestock industry, Luo Feng knew. Planets with life are mainly split into planets with high human population density, tourist planets, livestock planets, forestry planets, agricultural planets, industrial planets, etc. For example, some powers in the universe can directly build a large factory on a planet, etc. Earth's livestock has many precious monsters, which is an important asset of the Silver Blue Empire. Hence, they specially arranged for an interstellar fleet to be stationed here, Babata said. Of course, they also rely on the interstellar transport ships to transport large amounts of mining equipment and miners to the mineral planets around the planet with life to mine, Babata said. Back then, there were many miners mining on Mars. And they built a mining base here. After that, the interstellar fleet was destroyed by Master with a single move. Without the interstellar transport ship, those miners won't have any supplies on the Fireball. Even if they create life meals, they won't be able to last long. So, it's all over, Babata said. Luo Feng was stunned. So that's how it is. This is a mining base? These pyramids are energy towers, Babata said. This energy tower is imitating the mechanical race's basic method of creating energy. It's very cost-effective. In terms of using the pyramid, the human race can't catch up to the machinery race. The mechanical race is very strong in terms of technology. Babata could not help but say, even the human race cannot compare to them. For example, humans can only rely on evolution to step into immortal, but the mech race is actually a type of artificial intelligence life. Although they do not have a soul, they still have the combat power of an immortal. Luo Feng was shocked within. Although artificial intelligence lifeforms had human emotions, they were still artificial intelligence and not souls. Babata was just like that. The soulless automaton race could give birth to undying experts. In terms of technology, it was indeed very strong. Hoo, the strong wind whistled past, swirling up a large amount of sand. Luo Feng stood on the ground. Babata, detect the mineral deposit. Luo Feng said. Activate the mineral deposit detection. The Black Dragon ship floating in mid-air immediately activated the mineral deposit detection ability. In just a moment, Luo Feng, Mars has an extremely rich black iron deposit. Babata said. Black iron? Right, after translating it into Chinese, it can be called black iron. Babata said, black iron is an A8 grade metal. It's extremely sturdy, it's very popular in the universe. No B grade metal? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Right now, he was a star-level golden horn beast. His efficiency in swallowing B-grade metals was very high. No. Babata said excitedly, however, the amount of black iron is extremely large, so there must be quite a bit of black iron essence inside. Luo Feng's heart moved. Black iron was A8 grade, then black iron essence would be B8, and the extremely rare black iron essence would be C8 grade. For example, the UNMO planet ship, its entire body was made out of hybrid copper essence. This hybrid copper itself was a D9 grade metal, and the hybrid copper essence was an E9 grade. Hybrid copper essence was an F9 grade. A large black iron deposit, if there was even 1/10,000th of the black iron essence, that was already not bad. Black iron essence, if there was even 1/10,000th of the black iron essence, that was already not bad. One could see how exaggerated the ratio was. Hybrid copper itself was already very valuable. The UNMO planet ship, whose entire body was made out of the hybrid copper essence, its price was unimaginable. Just one piece of the hybrid copper essence would make a domain lord go crazy with greed. It was a pity that the UNMO planet ship needed repairs, and couldn't be found even in the vast Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Luo Feng, these 9 energy towers have the ability to isolate detection. They cover a certain area, making it impossible to detect. However, below the energy towers, there's a steel city. I can barely detect a small part of the steel city. Babata said. Steel city? Luo Feng was shocked. An underground steel city? However, I can detect no life within a few hundred meters. Let's go, follow the cave on the left 12 kilometers away, and we'll find the underground steel city. *********** On the surface of Mars, there was a naturally collapsed huge cave, with a diameter of a few hundred meters. So, Luo Feng immediately rushed into the cave, heading deeper into the ground. Steel City? Luo Feng released his spirit energy, as a Star Traveler Level 6 spirit reader. Releasing his spirit energy could cover an area of over 6,000 hm. Luo Feng landed on the ground. Before him was dirt and dust, only the huge cave was covered by the dirt, and he could vaguely see a black metal. And using his spirit energy, Luo Feng had long discovered behind him was a huge city gate. Number 1, open. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. His body immediately floated up and dodged far away. A black metal robot appeared out of thin air. In terms of strength, Luo Feng couldn't compare to this black metal robot. Rumble, the metal robot's powerful palm fiercely pushed against the huge metal door. As it exerted force, the metal door slowly opened with a rumble. A large amount of soil also fell with a shwa-shwa sound, and a cloud of sand and dust filled the air. Shio! 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 Blinding beams of white light fiercely shot out, almost enveloping the entire area of the metal door. 7 or 8 blinding lasers shot into the metal robot's body, causing the metal robot to crash into the cave wall beside, causing a large amount of dust to collapse. Luo Feng had already dodged far above. Damn, this steel city is still operating? Luo Feng was shocked. My spirit energy scan, there's no one inside, it's long been covered in dust. The 9 energy towers are operating normally, allowing the steel city to continue operating. The people are all dead, but the steel city's functions haven't disappeared. Babata said, Luo Feng, go in. This emergency steel city's defenses aren't that strong. And right now, the Cloud Contact Vine is a Star Traveler level 9, about to step into the star level. During Luo Feng's battle with the Golden Horned Beast back then, the Cloud Contact Vine was already a Star Traveler level 7. Luo Feng's body had been nurtured for over a year. The Cloud Contact Vine had been under the sea. Babata had often fed it Muya crystals. Within a year, it had grown to a Star Traveler level 9, just that it was stuck at the door, not yet stepping into the star level. This speed, to this specially nurtured Cloud Contact Vine, wasn't fast. Steel City. Luo Feng and the metal robot, one in front and one behind, flew into the underground Steel City, forcefully withstanding the next laser beam, rushing in. The pitch-black city. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to scan. Only then did he realize that the density of the buildings in the city was extremely high. Luo Feng, the entire city is built from black iron. Babata said, quickly, do as I say, first cut off the energy supply, prevent this underground steel city, some important areas from being attacked. Okay. Luo Feng was clear on the importance of cutting off the energy supply. Left. Turn right, yes. Babata led the way, very quickly bringing Luo Feng to a place where the thick metal pipes were concentrated. Use the hybrid copper essence shard, cut it for me, cut it all off, Babata said. Luo Feng, dressed in a blood-red cloud contact armor, looked at the pipes 100 meters ahead. His thoughts moved. Xiao. A blood-red blur immediately passed through the pipes in the distance, with Luo Feng's Star Traveler Level 6 Spirit Reader, Star Level 3 Soul's Consciousness Strength, a total of 32 threads of spirit energy that were as tough as steel wires were attached to the hybrid copper essence shard. Cha, cha, cha. An ear-piercing sound resounded. Large amounts of sparks were emitted, rumble, causing the metal beside to explode. There are still 8 energy towers, Babata said. Babata, lead the way. Luo Feng swiftly flew. This was only a mining base. Back when the interstellar fleet was destroyed, there was no more supplies. Due to the environment, the miners were forced to move underground, relying on large amounts of machinery to quickly build a simple and crude steel city. The city's main material was the black iron. After so many years, with the support of the energy towers, the city was still in perfect condition. He couldn't help but praise. In just a few minutes, the steel city's energy supply had all been cut off by Luo Feng. Haha, it's all settled. Luo Feng, if my guess isn't wrong, the miners must have carefully stored the black iron essences they dug up. Let's begin a large search. If we see anything good, we'll take it all away, Babata said. Luo Feng immediately flew within this underground steel city, beginning a large search. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Woo, it's late. Chapter 275. Mars, Underground Steel City. This underground steel city, it's built really big. Dressed in a blood-red armor, Luo Feng's spirit energy swept in all directions, searching this ancient underground city. Luo Feng, go to the warehouse, Babata said. Back then the miners dug out large amounts of black iron. It should be stored in an important warehouse. HM. Luo Feng's spirit energy spread out to a 6,000 m area. This underground city's streets, buildings etc. all had words written on them. The words were in the universe language. Using the words, in a short while Luo Feng easily found the important location of the entire steel city. The warehouse where the black iron materials were stored. Luo Feng landed in front of the huge warehouse base. he couldn't help but be stunned, cursing softly. Big trouble! The warehouse base before him was filled with large amounts of black iron, almost like a small mountain. Not only did the huge warehouse slow down, even the courtyards outside were slowed down, they were even piled up outside the warehouse. Haha, back then when the miners were trapped on Mars, even if they had large amounts of black iron, they wouldn't be able to transport it. Black iron is actually the most worthless, the entire Steel City is made of black iron, of course this warehouse can be stacked casually. Babata said. Luo Feng, seriously look around, see if you can find any black iron spirits. Luo Feng looked at the small mountain of black iron, helpless. Forcefully barge in? How? A 8-grade black iron, just based on its hardness, even a Star Traveler level 8 fighter would find it hard to break it. Luo Feng's soaring shuttle, it was hard to pierce through. Luo Feng could easily drill through the soil, but for his body to drill through a small mountain of black iron? It was as difficult as a normal person drilling through the ground, as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Collect. Luo Feng's thoughts move. Who? A large amount of black iron disappeared, and another pile disappeared. Using his space ring, Luo Feng swiftly kept the large amount of black iron. Babata, my space ring isn't big enough, help me keep it. Luo Feng said. His own space ring was over 600 m long, 500 m wide, and 100 m tall. In terms of space, it was over 30 million cubic meters. If he wanted to fill the space ring, it would definitely fit. However, Babata's space ring, it would be a waste not to use it. Sly Luo Feng. Alright, I'll settle it. Babata said. Shwa. With the naked eye, Babata could clearly see the mountains of dark iron in front of him rapidly disappear, and in just a short while, the entire area outside the warehouse, including the huge courtyard, that was piled up like a small mountain, was all stored into Babata's storage space. A total of 118 million tons, too little, barely enough to build a small interstellar warship, Babata said. Luo Feng laughed and strode towards the storehouse in front. The dark steel obstructions outside had all disappeared, revealing the exterior of the warehouse. The warehouse was a rectangular building that occupied a large area, and the door was tightly shut. Break! Luo Feng looked at the gigantic and thick black iron door. The hybrid copper essence shard turned into a flowing light and fiercely slashed into the door, forcefully cutting in. It's really thick. Luo Feng could clearly feel a large amount of spirit energy being expended. It was not difficult for the hybrid copper essence shard to cut the dark steel, but it was so thick that it consumed a lot of psyche power. It took him half a minute to cut a hole big enough for one person to enter. In the warehouse, the old way was to have Babata store a large amount of dark steel in his storage space. Dark red? Luo Feng glanced at the distant small pile of dark red metal, swiftly finding information on the dark steel from his large inherited memories, determining the identity of the metal before him. Dark steel essence. I've finally found it. Luo Feng was excited. The golden-horned beast's internal world currently needed to swallow B-grade metals, only then could its growth speed increase. Babata, check. How much is there in this pile of dark steel essence? Luo Feng walked to the front of the dark steel essence. Shwa. A liquid silver guard appeared in mid-air. The liquid silver guard stared at the dark steel essence, its eyes gleaming. Obviously it was collecting information on the pile. Its volume is about 35 cubic meters, a total of about 1,200 tons. Babata said. Oh! Luo Feng was about to praise. 1,200 tons? Right now the swallowing monster can swallow close to 100 tons of B8 grade metals a day. That means it's enough to eat for about 10 days? One had to know. The star level 3 golden horned beast, if it swallowed all the metals on Earth, it could swallow up to 100 million tons of metals in a day. Just like a base, a huge steel base that exceeded 500 m in length and width, One base would have over 10 million tons of metals. Back then, when it was a star level 1, it had to swallow quite a few bases before it was full. Now that it was a star level 3, its appetite had increased, it had to swallow even more. At 8 grade metals, it had to swallow tens of thousands of tons a day. B8 grade, close to 100 tons was about right. Too little, too little. Luo Feng shook his head. After collecting all the dark steel in the warehouse, he didn't find any more dark steel essence. Babata, why is there so little of the dark steel essence here? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. It's not little, it's just that the golden-horned beast can swallow too much. Is 1,200 tons little? Babata said. The pinnacle bloodlines of the space beasts, all of them are very sick. The flame star beast swallows stars. Even though your golden-horned beast doesn't swallow stars, its requirements are very strict. When you become a sector lord, you'll be swallowing E-grade metals, swallowing so much every day, even your teacher, the master of the Yun Mo planet, would be eating until he went broke. Luo Feng laughed bitterly. Right, the more he ate, the higher the quality of the metals. Unless Luo Feng was willing to grow at the slowest speed, that would save money. However, to grow quickly, just buying the pure metals would require a huge sum of money. Continue searching, see if there's any more dark steel essence in this steel city. Large-scale search. The entire city was made of dark steel, however the houses and residences etc., many of them weren't. It was just that too much time had passed, most of them had decayed. Large-scale search. Luo Feng would occasionally find a few small pieces of dark steel essence, within a few decaying residences, obviously treasured by the miners. Every time he collected a small amount, however the more he searched, the more he found, the more than 1,000 tons. 32 minutes later. Rumble. Luo Feng kicked a dirty and decaying mansion's underground door. The dust on the door fell, revealing the door's original color, dark red. Dark steel essence door? Even the door is made of dark steel essence. What's in this underground room? Luo Feng revealed a look of glee. Immediately keeping a few tons of dark steel essence door into his space ring, after which Luo Feng stepped into the underground room that no one had entered for hundreds of thousands of years. The underground room occupied a huge amount of space. My God! Luo Feng stared. The huge underground room was very organized with large amounts of decaying weapons. The thing that took up the most space was the large amounts of dark red metal. The size was huge, far more than what Luo Feng had collected in the warehouse. And in the center of the dark red metal, there was even a blood red metal. Dark steel essence, so many dark steel essences. The one in the center is the dark steel essence? Luo Feng was stunned. There's actually more than the warehouse? Babata, hurry and calculate, how much is there? Luo Feng said. As he was affected by the pyramid, Babata could only release the liquid silver guards, using their eyes to look, gather information and make a judgment. There's about 12,300 tons of dark steel essence, the C8 grade dark steel essence, about 360 kilograms. Babata said. Much more than the warehouse. Luo Feng was extremely shocked. The warehouse only had a little over 1,000 tons of dark steel essence. There wasn't even a bit of the dark steel essence. Luo Feng, I suggest we go to the underground Steel City's main control center, connect to the surveillance AI system, and check on the underground Steel City's history. Babata said, I suspect. This Steel City, the miners have been trapped here for a long time, the internal system has changed, the dark steel essence and other things have been stored in a different place. All right. Luo Feng agreed with Babata. 5 minutes later, the black metal robot made a move, directly connecting to the underground Steel City's surveillance AI system. With the support of the energy tower, the surveillance AI system had been working perfectly until Luo Feng cut off the energy supply. Very quickly, the infiltration was successful. I've found the information. Back then, the Master destroyed the interstellar fleet with one move. There were a total of 2 million miners, unable to leave Mars. They used the virtual universe network to request for help, even offering a reward for help. However, after retreating underground, due to not being able to receive help for a long time, there's been a change within the miners. Amongst the miners, the ratio of men to women is close to 20:1. Just like your Earth's feudal lords fighting for supremacy, these 3 million people have begun to fight amongst themselves. After all, resources are limited, women are limited, beautiful women are even more limited. A few precious dark steel essences, the even more precious dark steel essence, were all hidden by the large powers in their own bases. However, the resources on Mars are limited. Gathering resources to create food is getting harder and harder, this Steel City, because they didn't have the information to build a universe ship. They've been thinking of ways to research on spaceships. After thousands of years, they finally painstakingly built 3 super small spaceships, sending a few elites out of the planet to fight for a sliver of hope for survival. The remaining thousands of other people went into sleep and died. This Steel City lasted for over 3,000 years before it was destroyed. Babata said. Luo Feng sighed. Over 3 million lives, constantly struggling. However, Mars was lacking in resources. Without supplies, there was no hope at all. Luo Feng, let's go. I have the maps of the large powers, their bases. Let's go search each one. Babata said. All right. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. They searched a total of 12 places, of which 8 were empty. Obviously they were the bases of the powers that failed to conquer. The other 4 places, the rewards were much bigger than the warehouses. From then on, the entire underground Steel City, Luo Feng had looted almost all of the dark steel essences and dark steel essence, of which the dark steel essences reached about 33,600 tons. The dark steel essence was about 34 tons. Over 30,000 tons of dark steel essences, it's about enough to devour for a year. Luo Feng stood at the entrance of the Steel City, looking at the pitch-black city. He was troubled, wanting the golden horned beast to grow faster. The price was really huge. When it reaches the universe level golden horned beast, its devouring power will be even more ridiculous. These dark steel essences, when that time comes, it probably won't even be enough to devour for a day. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. There's a second chapter before 10:20. Everyone please throw a few recommendation votes to support me. Chapter 276. After sweeping the underground Steel City clean, Luo Feng flew out of the city gate. Luo Feng, wait a moment. Babata shouted. What's the matter, Babata? Luo Feng was suspicious. Don't tell me this Steel City still has treasures? Stupid. The most valuable thing in this Steel City isn't the black iron essence or the black iron essence. It's almost entirely made out of black iron. Babata couldn't help but say. Luo Feng was shocked. Luo Feng, don't you know you're very poor now? Babata laughed evilly. Very poor? Do you have money? I'm talking about currency that can be used in the universe, not Earth's money. Do you? Babata asked. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. On Earth, money had no meaning to him. However, in the vast universe, he was indeed very poor. Firstly, he had 0 cash and 0 universe bank account. Your teacher did prepare 3 bank accounts for you, but they're only for you to reach the star level, universe level and domain lord level. Babata said. Before your teacher fell, he used the virtual universe network to set up these 3 accounts for you. And it requires that your personal strength meets the requirements, so you can collect it personally. Your golden horned beast body has reached the star level, however. Don't tell me you're going to use your golden horned beast body to go to the bank? Babata asked. Only after reaching the star level could one acquire the wealth of the first bank account. However, his golden horned beast body didn't dare show itself, and his human body's strength wasn't enough. Hence, Luo Feng, your current cash is 0, your bank account is as good as empty. You do have many treasures. The Yun Mo planet ship is a priceless treasure. The Black Dragon ship is also very expensive. However, if you take it out, without a doubt, even sector lords and undying beings would come to steal it. That would be suicide. And the Black Dragon ship, you need to use it yourself. The Cloud Contact Vine has already recognized its owner. The soaring shuttle Arc Cutter Blade, you need to use it yourself. The only things that can really be sold for money are the liquid silver guards, along with my Muya crystals and energy crystals, Babata said, and the Muya crystals, the Cloud Contact Vine needs to grow. What about the energy crystals? The Black Dragon ship also requires energy. If I use it for a long period of time, I might not even have enough energy crystals. I'll still need to buy more. Luo Feng was stunned. He was the descendant of Yun Mo planet, but now, he did not have a single cent of cash. Property? The Black Dragon ship, spirit weapons, Muya crystals and energy crystals were all necessities. That's why Luo Feng, before your human body reaches the star level, you're still very poor. Babata said helplessly. Isn't there a ship fragment? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. That's a wreckage, it's classified as trash. It's too troublesome to even refurbish it. Babata said. How much can it be sold for? 1 Muya crystal can be exchanged for countless fragments. Luo Feng frowned. Luo Feng was very clear that he would inevitably have to enter the universe in the future. For example, he could only buy some of the metal combinations he needed to practice his deity of the world. If he relied on himself to find them in the universe, how long would that take? In the vast universe, even undying realm experts valued money. Of course, it was the universal currency. It was not the currency issued by a single planet like Earth. How could he not have money? Without money, he couldn't even open an account in the virtual universe network. Luo Feng, I'll tell you everything. Babata said. The energy crystals in my storage space, if you use the Black Dragon ship frequently, would probably be used up in a few decades. The Muya crystals I have here are enough for you to reach the star level 1. Let the Cloud Contact Vine grow to the star level 5 or 6. Babata said. As for the others, that's all. As for the energy crystals and Muya crystals, it's up to you to decide. Luo Feng began to think carefully. His own wealth was split into 3 levels. The highest level, the Yun Mo planet ship, the Undying Expert's corpse, they were all shocking treasures. It was a pity that the moment he took out such treasures, it was equivalent to suicide. The second level, the 3 bank accounts his teacher gave him, he needed to be strong enough to withdraw money. The third level, the Black Dragon ship he was using, the soaring shuttle, the Arc Cutter Blade, the liquid silver guards and the Muya crystals and energy crystals he left with Babata. I can't bear to part with them. Luo Feng shook his head. That's why your biggest sum of money right now is this black iron. Babata shouted excitedly. These are all black iron raw materials, and not the alloy wreckage. The alloy wreckage of the ship is the most worthless. As for the raw materials, they can be used to make tools, weapons, etc. They are still worth a lot of money. Luo Feng nodded. Just like how iron ores and other raw materials were worth a lot of money in the universe, while there were many places to excavate for metal raw materials, there were still costs involved. Black iron is an A8 grade metal, it's very cheap. However, there's a lot of it. Babata shouted. Back then, we used interstellar transport ships to transport millions of miners to excavate it. Looks like this is my first profit. Luo Feng looked at the steel city, his gaze heated. You're in charge of dismantling it, I'll be in charge of storing it in my storage space. Babata shouted. Alright. Rumble, the steel city occasionally emitted rumbling sounds, with Luo Feng's dismantling and Babata's storage space. The efficiency was extremely high. The steel city was about 10 kilometers in length and width. Large chunks of black iron raw materials were all stored by Babata. Some of the black iron that had been poured into pillars were also stored. 8 hours later, the entire steel city was gone, leaving behind only a few decayed remains. Luo Feng, we've discarded some of the decayed ones. The total amount of black iron raw materials we've collected is a total of 28 billion tons. Babata said excitedly, haha, just with these raw materials, Luo Feng, you've finally got your first capital. Luo Feng flew out of the ground. From high up in the sky, he looked down at the surface of Mars. It's a pity, there's still a lot of black iron veins underground, but the difficulty of excavating them is very high. Babata said helplessly, even if you're strong, one person can't excavate the entire vein. Unless it's those pure metal veins. Don't be too greedy. Luo Feng was very clear. What he had here was the result of over 3 million miners working together with their equipment. Earth, China, Jiangnan headquarter city, Yangzhou City. Evening, the red sun hung in the west. A huge black disc-shaped ship was thousands of meters above Yangzhou City. However, not a single country on Earth had discovered this ship. The ship's cabin door opened, a youth dressed in a casual shirt flew out. The ship suddenly disappeared. The youth flew downwards. I'm back. How mysterious, going to Mars in the morning and returning to Earth in the evening. Luo Feng couldn't help but compliment, and I've even struck it rich. Over 3 million miners were working hard. This 28 billion tons of black iron was much more valuable than 2 tons of black iron essence. After all, there was a lot of it. Dad. In the courtyard, 2 children were jogging and playing. One of them shouted excitedly. The other child raised his head too. Indeed, their father Luo Feng flew down from the sky. Ping ping, little Hai, come, give me a kiss. Luo Feng squatted down and hugged his 2 sons, smiling. Do, a car horn sounded. Luo Feng turned to look, only to see Su Xian driving her car towards the garage, purposely honking, causing the 2 children to shout, Mom. Dinner is almost ready, little Feng. You and Su Xian just happened to return at this time. What a coincidence. Gong Xian Lan laughed. Luo Feng's days were very comfortable. The golden-horned beast's internal world was immersed in its absolute space training. The internal world was absorbing close to 100 tons of black iron essence every day. Multitasking to Luo Feng was very simple. Like an undying being, his soul's calculation speed wasn't any lower than a living AI. Every second counted in trillions. Luo Feng's soul was already a star level 3 soul. If he split his attention to control objects, controlling hundreds to thousands of objects in different trajectories was a simple task. Even if he used all his strength to control each one, the consciousness of a star level 3, he could control 32 threads of spirit energy. Meaning to say, Luo Feng could multitask 32 times at once. Every one of them was at its highest efficiency. Yes, 32. Back when Luo Feng was a star traveler level 3, his consciousness level could control 19 threads of spirit energy. And now, with his star level 3 soul consciousness, he could control 32 threads of spirit energy. Luo Feng frequently sat in a ship to leave Earth, heading to other planets in the solar system. No one noticed. After all, Luo Feng returned too quickly. Even the furthest planet in the solar system, with the Black Dragon ship, 2 days was enough. Earth was silent. Hong Ning headquarters city. Year 2062 spring, in the headquarters of the Dojo of Limits, within the huge ship, in one of the spacious rooms, there were 2 beds. Beside them were large amounts of equipment. Everything was to maintain the lives of the 2 warriors. On the left lay the white-robed Thunder God, on the right lay the black-clothed Hong Head. Outside the room, there were 2 people standing outside the glass, looking inside, their eyes filled with sadness. Ice Mountain, when will the head wake up? Allure couldn't help but ask softly. I don't know. However, I will wait, I will continue to wait. The ice-cold man beside said. Allure nodded. However, an ear-piercing alarm suddenly resounded outside. Rumble. A group of doctors immediately rushed in. Allure and Ice Mountain's 2 guards stared wide-eyed inside. The door immediately opened, the 2 old doctors entered, the others were locked outside. Brain waves have been discovered. A white-haired old doctor shouted excitedly. The 2 heads have brain waves, and they're getting stronger. Another doctor shouted excitedly. The equipment displayed the brain waves. The 2 heads' brain waves rose and fell, almost as though they were competing with each other, one stronger than the other. Stronger and stronger. Suddenly, the black-clothed Hong's eyelids trembled, after which, he slowly opened his eyes. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived, Saturday late, today's payment. Hence there's still a 3rd chapter today. Chapter 277. Night. Luo Feng and Su Xian were hugging their children and watching television. Luo Feng picked up his phone, looking at the caller ID on the screen. He was shocked. What's up? Su Xian asked curiously. It's the head Hong's call. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows curiously. Ever since the swallowing monster incident, Hong and Thunder God had been in deep slumber. Su Xian was shocked too. Who dares use Hong's phone? Hello. Luo Feng answered. Luo Feng. That powerful voice resounded. Head? Luo Feng was shocked. Beside him Su Xian too stared wide-eyed. Hong was awake? After 2 years of slumber, Hong was awake? This was definitely news that shocked the entire world. We've just woken up, Thunder God is awake too. We just found out what happened after we fell asleep. Thank you for saving our lives and thank you for saving humanity. Hong's voice was filled with joy. If there's nothing, come to Hong Ning headquarters city for a trip. Alright, I'll head over now. Luo Feng nodded. Alright, Thunder God and I will be here. Hong smiled. After hanging up, beside him Su Xian couldn't help but ask, Hong has revived? Thunder God too. Luo Feng smiled. I'll head over now, I'll probably be back late at night. Su Xian nodded. Luo Feng stood on the soaring shuttle, swiftly leaving Jiangnan headquarters city, rushing towards the Dojo of Limit's headquarters with his fastest speed. Outside the Dojo of Limit's headquarters, there were many fighter jets parked. It was extremely lively. Investigator Luo. The headquarters guard bowed respectfully. Luo Feng swiftly entered the headquarters, under the guidance of the staff. He arrived at a guest room. Within the guest room, there was only Hong and Thunder God. Luo Feng. One black and one white-clothed man, upon seeing Luo Feng, came forward. Haha, Luo Feng, I've let you get all the attention. Thunder God laughed loudly as he hammered Luo Feng's chest. Seeing that you've saved my life, I'll let this go, haha. Second brother's skin is really thick. Don't lower yourself to his level. Hong said to Luo Feng. Thunder God couldn't help but stare. I'm a big shot. I won't lower myself to his level. Luo Feng said seriously. F***ck you too. Thunder God was so angry he stared. Hong and Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh out loud. Sit down. Under Hong's invitation, the 3 of them sat down. These 3 people were the 3 most powerful experts on Earth. Luo Feng, Thunder God stopped laughing and said solemnly, This time, after Big Brother and I found out what happened, we were really afraid. We were afraid that the human race would perish. Thank you. I won't say much about my gratitude. It's all in the wine. Hong personally poured 3 cups of wine. Come. The 3 of them picked up their glasses. F***ck. He drank it all in one gulp. Luo Feng. Hong smiled. Before, you dealt with Atkin and his group of trash, thank you too. Otherwise, if we let that group of people cause a ruckus, I don't know what would happen. Especially my Thunder Dojo. Humph, Seigo Neru also wants to sit in the dojo master's position? To be so shameless as to make a move on the family of a hero who sacrificed himself for humanity, these people deserve to die. Thunder God couldn't help but curse. After waking up and finding out what had happened, Thunder God was extremely angry. Luo Feng smiled. These are all small matters. After dealing with those 3 black sheep, the countries and powers immediately calmed down a lot. Killing the chicken to warn the monkey. Hong nodded. Earth's matters are small matters. After Thunder God and I woke up, we discussed and came to a decision. Decision? Luo Feng looked curiously at Hong and Thunder God. These two had been asleep for 2 years. What decision had they made after waking up? Luo Feng. Thunder God emphasized. Hong and I have received some knowledge from the archaeological ruins. We can even make translation software. You should be able to tell that we know a lot about the universe. In the vast universe, there are too many strong countries. Our Milky Way is a part of the Silver Blue Empire. Also, for a planet without a master like ours, the moment it's discovered, it'll be a nightmare. Thunder God's expression was serious. Hong nodded. Right, a nightmare. If we're lucky, our Earth will become the territory of a strong warrior. However, the bigger possibility is all the people on Earth will be sold as slaves. After that, the entire planet will be sold to a few strong warriors. Luo Feng nodded. Regarding these, Luo Feng was very clear. In the universe, the division of status, the existence of slavery, etc., in short, the countless races of humanity in the universe, all these systems were for the sake of competition, to filter out the strong. The strong could obtain high positions and treatment, and the weak were pitiful. The swallowing monster is powerful, however, it's after all only one. We can resist. Hong's expression was serious, however, the huge powers in the universe, if they randomly send an interstellar fleet, we won't even have the power to resist. Thunder God nodded. There's only one thing we can do, make ourselves stronger. Only then can we protect our home. Luo Feng's heart was heavy. He knew more than Hong and Thunder God. In the universe, some aboriginal planets often had tragic fates. These things were already common. In the universe, those aboriginal planets would occasionally produce a few strong warriors, fighting for their own planet, protecting their planet's race, their home. Luo Feng, you don't want to see Earth meet such a fate, right? Hong looked at Luo Feng. Of course. Luo Feng said. That's why, Luo Feng, follow us and train from now on. On Earth, in terms of fighter talent, I'm not bragging, only me and Brother Hong have it. And the spirit reader talent is naturally you, Luo Feng. Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. The 3 of us are the strongest on Earth, of course we have to be even more united. Hong looked at Luo Feng too. Luo Feng laughed, nodding. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. The 3 of them laughed. Heroes appreciate each other. It's said that the strong are lonely. Because after becoming invincible, there's no one else who can match up to you. Naturally you'll feel lonely. Just like before when Hong and Thunder God were asleep, Luo Feng was invincible on Earth. Really, back then, Luo Feng really felt lonely. And with Hong and Thunder God's awakening, Luo Feng was happy from the bottom of his heart. He finally had companions along the way. Luo Feng, from today onwards, you're the 3rd brother. Hong smiled happily. Little third brother, little third brother. Thunder God laughed weirdly. I'm tired, I'm returning to the palace. Little waiter, aren't you going to pour some wine? I'll give you some money. Luo Feng teased Thunder God. This training path is very difficult, we have to help each other and spar frequently, only then can we improve faster. Hong said. Thunder God nodded too. The 2 of them have high comprehension, but the Earth's genes are really ordinary. Babata shouted. Also, they don't have any teachers. It's like a blind man groping an elephant. No teachers, no good genes, all they have is comprehension. I dare to bet. The 2 of them may reach the Star Traveler level 9 in 10 to 20 years. However, breaking through from the Star Traveler Level 9 to the Star Level 1, difficult, at least 50 to 60 years. Luo Feng, your source world is already at the Star Level 3, hence, your human body can constantly evolve. Even though it's limited by the Earth's talent, it's a little slow. But you'll still be much faster than them. Babata said. Luo Feng's heart moved. Babata, doesn't our UNMO planet have collected fighter training manuals too? Pass them on to Hong and Thunder God. Without a teacher, even with talent, it would be hard to go far. As fellow Earthlings, and as one of the 3 most outstanding people on Earth, Luo Feng hoped that Hong and Thunder God would be able to keep up with his footstep. How can we do that? This is our UNMO planet's training manuals. Babata denied. Passing them on to outsiders is a capital offense. Our UNMO planet's training manuals are mainly spirit readers. Luo Feng laughed. Our teacher is also a spirit reader. The techniques he created, like the Soul Imprint 6 Lights Tower of the Void etc., are all spirit readers. Those fighter training manuals, I'm guessing they're techniques he collected outside. Oh, but they're still your teacher's hard work. Babata said. We can't pass them on to outsiders, not disciples of our UNMO planet, we can't pass them on. Luo Feng's thoughts and Babata continued to communicate. However, Babata refused. Luo Feng finally understood, when a living AI is stubborn, there's no way to persuade it. How about this, we'll take Hong and Thunder God as UNMO planet disciples, how about that? Luo Feng asked. Babata stared wide-eyed, nodding, that's fine. Oh, Luo Feng was shocked, that's too straightforward. Take them in as disciples. Luo Feng, hurry and take them in. They're definitely the most exceptional disciples. Star travelers can have their own domains. Back then I was crying over their deaths, luckily they woke up. Such geniuses, 2 geniuses, they'll definitely be fought over in the universe. Babata said. Even though the master of the UNMO planet was a spirit reader. But a power couldn't just be all spirit readers. Just the undying servants under the master of the UNMO planet were mostly undying fighters. Within the living room. What's so serious? Thunder God stared at Luo Feng. Hong listened carefully. It's like this, I've once received a training manual, within it are spirit reader training manuals, and fighter training manuals. Luo Feng said seriously. Beside him Hong and Thunder God were overjoyed. Luo Feng continued, however, our training manual forbids outsiders from passing it on, I can't go against it. Hence, I want to ask, are you 2 willing to join my training manual? What power? Hong asked, what are the conditions? What sect? Thunder God asked, what are the rules? Right now, there's only me left in the sect. Luo Feng said. Damn. Thunder God stared. Why didn't you say so earlier? You're the only one left. I thought joining the sect would make me an underling, a cannon fodder. A sect with only you. Join, of course I'll join. Right, join. Hong laughed. Right, what sect? My sect belongs to the UNMO planet. Luo Feng laughed too. Next time when you go out, don't tell others that it's the UNMO planet sect. After all, the entire UNMO planet has been destroyed by the enemy. Hence, announcing your name would be courting death. Thunder God and Hong exchanged glances. The sect's base was destroyed? Good news. Good news. Thunder God laughed and praised. This means we're not bound anymore. Hong smiled too. Bastards, 2 bastards. Not respecting the sect, they deserve to be punished. Within the AI space, Babata was furious and helpless. P.S. 3 chapters completed. Hong and Thunder God had also entered the UNMO Planet Fighter sect, at the same time, very sincerely calling for the monthly votes. Also calling for everyone's recommendation votes. Monthly votes. Recommendation votes. I really want tomatoes. Chapter 278. Late at night, in the guest room, Hong and Thunder God seemed to be in a trance, staring at the communicator watch on their wrists. carefully reading the UNMO Planet Fighter Training Manual that Luo Feng had just sent over. My god, it's actually like this. Thunder God muttered, wrong, my Thunder Blade 9 stage, compared to it, is much weaker. So it can be like this. Hong's eyes were gleaming, immersed in reading the manual. Luo Feng said from the side, training the basics are the most important. If you want to raise as fast as possible right from the start, it will result in a weak foundation. In the future, from the Star Traveler level 9 to the Star level, from the Star level 9 to the Universe level, it will be extremely difficult. The basics must be solid. Hey, are you guys listening? This was what Babata wanted Luo Feng to say. Alright, third brother. Before the Grand Nirvana period, we've already started training. Of course we know the importance of the basics. Thunder God waved his hand. This manual is simply too amazing. Don't disturb me from reading it. You punk. Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What an amazing manual. Hong looked up at Luo Feng, his face filled with excitement. Luo Feng, this is definitely the most from shallow to deep I've ever seen. The explanation is extremely clear, even some of the things that must be understood, the concepts that can't be taught, are clearly described. It's too amazing. Luo Feng laughed. Of course it's amazing. Don't you know which power this manual came from? This was from the UNMO planet. Firstly, the UNMO planet master had 9 undying slaves. Just the manuals from those 9 undying warriors were already amazing. Not to mention the UNMO planet master's many years of effort to collect them. Placed in the universe, those were top-notch manuals. To Hong and Thunder God, who had always been trying to figure out their own manuals couldn't even compare to the UNMO planet's manuals. For example, strength exertion. Thunderblade 9 Stage's maximum strength exertion was 7 times, and the body's defense couldn't be raised at the same time. However, the body's theoretical limit was 100 times. At this time, the body's full potential could be unleashed, meaning the normal fighter on Earth only had 1% of his body's potential. Even the Thunderblade 9 Stage's highest level could only unleash 7%. To unleash 100% of one's potential, that meant reaching the theoretical limit of 100 times. It was difficult, extremely difficult. Even a realm lord would find it hard to do so. Just like mind expanse, it was actually the degree of brain development. Luo Feng's previous brain expanse was 22, which meant that his brain was developed at 22%, and for normal people on Earth, reaching 1% was already not bad. And to develop the brain to 60%, mind expanse 60, or 70%, mind expanse 70, was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Haha, continue watching. However, remember, you must not spread it. Luo Feng emphasized. Didn't we make an oath during the ceremony to enter the UNMO planet? Don't worry. Thunder God laughed. Hong also nodded. Private virtual space, Scarlet Castle, training room. Babata, who was wearing a black robe, sat on the desk, one hand holding an apple, and glanced at Luo Feng. Hey, Luo Feng. Now Hong and Thunder God's perception was very high. Even without secret manuals, they could still have their own domains. Now that I have the secret manual, my strength will definitely increase explosively in the near future. I understand. Luo Feng hugged the soul imprint book, and didn't even raise his head. Damn, don't you feel any pressure? Babata's blood-red eyes stared wide open, revealing his fangs. Pa! Luo Feng closed the book and turned to look at Babata. What do you want to say? Say it. It's not interesting at all. Babata curled his lips. It's very simple. Do you still remember, when you first came here, what I told you? Let me remind you about the basics. Of course I remember. You said back then, I'd need a whole 50 years to train to the star level 1. Luo Feng laughed. It's because I need to build up the basics. If I crazily raise my strength and ignore the basics, I'd be able to reach the star level 1 in 3 years. However, the price is that I'll never be able to reach the universe level. Right? Babata slightly raised his head. However, times have changed. Luo Feng frowned. From the Star Traveler level 9 to the Star level 1, from the Star level 9 to the Universe level 1, from the Universe level 9 to the Domain Lord level 1, and finally breaking through to the Sector Lord level. Every checkpoint, every bottleneck is a leap in life. They're all extremely, extremely difficult. Babata smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. That's why the basics have to be incomparably solid. However, the situation has changed. Changed. Luo Feng suddenly understood. Right now your foundation is the internal world. Babata said, as the internal world grows, the growth of the physical body will have no bottlenecks. I know. Luo Feng nodded. The internal world needs to swallow large amounts of metal to grow. The internal world was at the star level 3 then. Luo Feng's body, the golden horned beast body and human body, both bodies and soul, would at most reach the star level 3. On the other hand, if the internal world grew to the universe level 1, then Luo Feng's soul and 2 bodies wouldn't meet any bottlenecks. They could constantly grow. At this time, it all depended on one's talent, like the golden horned beast. The moment the internal world grew, the golden horned beast's physical body grew too. However, Luo Feng's earth body, even though it didn't have any bottlenecks, it still slowly grew step by step. Even if it was a smooth road, the earth body's evolution speed was slow. Because your foundation is the internal world, as long as the internal world grows, the body and soul won't have any bottlenecks or barriers. That's why, right now you can completely use the force-feeding method to crazily improve. Babata said, with the fastest speed, the highest efficiency of improving your body. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. The thing that hindered his human body's strength was his body's limitations. From today onwards, your evolution, don't use the internal world's metal universe energy. Babata said, even though that universe energy is not bad, it can't compare to the Muya crystal. The Muya crystal has a strong life force. In terms of improving life, its efficiency is extremely high. Of course, Luo Feng knew this. He had personally seen a horde leader monster eat a Muya crystal, immediately evolving into an emperor-level monster. Oh, of course, the mixed chapter, control chapter and illusion chapter still have to persevere in training. Babata said, this concerns your battle techniques and control abilities. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. Even if he was strong, he had to be able to unleash it. From today onwards, your battle techniques and control abilities take up 60% of your daily training. The force-feeding method takes up 40%. This way, I can barely guarantee that your battle techniques will match up to your sudden increase in strength. Babata decided. Luo Feng was anticipating. Force-feeding method? Since then, Luo Feng had been focusing on Unmo Planet's secret techniques, battle techniques and control abilities, and of course the force-feeding method to evolve his body. The rest of the time, he would occasionally spar with Hong and Thunder God. These spars allowed Luo Feng's battle experience to constantly increase. Year 2062 Hot Summer. The vast Pacific Ocean, the waves glowed under the sun's rays, beautiful and colorful. Rumble! 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 3 silhouettes broke through the sea and rushed into the sky, laughing loudly. Luo Feng, you really stole my thunder this time. Originally, I was prepared to kill that Thunder Dragon Emperor in one clean slash. What about you? Before I even flew over, you controlled your soaring shuttle from afar and killed that Thunder Dragon Emperor. You stole the 8-clawed Beast Emperor and the Thunder Dragon Emperor all by yourself. Who asked you to run so slowly? Luo Feng joked. Damn, you've gotten the advantage and you're still pretending. Come, receive my blade. Thunder God shouted. Rumble, the surrounding land and skies were filled with flowing lightning snakes, and Thunder God, who was in the middle of the domain, wielded a purple-black battle blade. The purple-black battle blade's body was wrapped with lightning snakes, almost like a god's weapon. And Thunder God's body moved, leaving a blur as he flew over, the purple-black battle blade in his hand slashing out a bolt of lightning. "Why would I be afraid of you?" Luo Feng laughed loudly. 32 blades immediately flew out, seemingly without any pattern as they enveloped the area. Clang! 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 Blade after blade clashed against the purple-black battle blade, almost like an expert commander controlling each blade, knocking, cutting, scraping, rapping, all sorts of methods, swiftly causing the purple-black battle blade's aura to weaken. Luo Feng waved his hand. The 32 blades seemed to be threaded, circling around Luo Feng's body once, before speeding up and wrapping around Thunder God. Damn! Thunder God felt as though he was facing the attacks of 32 warriors, and their coordination was perfect. Thunder movement! Thunder God roared. His expression was malevolent, his veins popping out. Rumble! The purplish-black saber in his hand suddenly exploded, turning into a huge lightning saber light that was like a waterfall. In an instant, the 32 saber blades were messed up, and the 32 saber blades were knocked flying everywhere. Playing for real? Luo Feng stared. His body became a blur, simultaneously shouting, soaring shuttle swordfish formation. Xiao! 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 Of the 32 blades, 2 of them flew back to the soaring shuttle under Luo Feng's feet. The remaining 30 blades were a bit further away from each other. In midair, the 30 blades actually formed the rough shape of a swordfish. It had a fish mouth and a fish tail. It was extremely lifelike and strange. Chi-chi, the 30 blades simultaneously flashed with golden threads. The golden threads intertwined, immediately forming a golden swordfish. Like a fish, slightly waving its tail, it moved strangely. And the swordfish's mouth was incomparably sharp. "Stop!" Thunder God shouted. "Why aren't you fighting anymore?" Luo Feng floated in mid-air, a golden swordfish floating beside him. "I was trampled by you last time, don't tell me you're going to trample me again?" Thunder God couldn't help but mutter, "What a monster! I'm already a Star Traveler level 9 with a domain, yet I can't even beat you. Big brother is stronger than me, and now even third brother is stronger than me. It's infuriating, it's infuriating." Luo Feng laughed. Thunder God and Hong had relied on the instruction manuals to improve quite a bit. Thunder God was a Star Traveler level 9 fighter, first level domain. Hong was a Star Traveler level 8 fighter, second level domain. Luo Feng, in half a year's time, relied on the crazily forced feeding method to raise his body from the Star Traveler level 3 to 5. His spirit reading naturally rose by 2 levels too. Luo Feng, a Star Traveler level 8 spirit reader, his consciousness strength was 32, and he could already use his ultimate move, the Soaring Shuttle's Swordfish Formation. It was because of this swordfish formation that Luo Feng was able to suppress Thunder God, not much different from Hong. The Soaring Shuttle had a total of 3 main forms. The first form, with an amplifier of 12, could be trained. The second form, with an amplifier of 30, could be trained. The third form was the final form, reaching the universe level, having one's own domain, with an amplifier of 48, could be trained. And Luo Feng's consciousness strength was 32. After painstakingly training, he finally made some progress in the Soaring Shuttle's second form's attack form, the Swordfish Formation. In terms of flexibility, power, mobility etc., the second form's Swordfish Formation was much stronger than the first form's mountain drills. Its power was huge. The training difficulty was much harder too. It wasn't like the first form where he could immediately succeed. Even though Luo Feng had long reached the requirements to train, he had only completed it a few days ago. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 279. Second brother, do you know the difference? Hong joked. Then hurry and work hard on your training. Either raise your domain by 1 level, or break through from the Star Traveler Level 9 to the Star Level 1, any one of them, as long as you break through. You'll be able to surpass me and Luo Feng. The realms were divided into 4 levels: Basics, Conception, Domain, World, and above that were the Undying Warriors. Every level was very thin. Domains, a total of 9 levels. Many universe levels and domain lords struggled bitterly within the 9 levels. Every increase in level was extremely difficult. The Star Traveler Level 9 to step into the Star level, the difficulty isn't any lower than the Star Traveler Level 1 to 9. Not to mention the more difficult domains. Thunder God rubbed his chin. Brother Hong, you've always been above me. Third brother is even more sick. At such a young age he's already surpassed me. This old face of mine, it's almost gone. Luo Feng and Hong laughed. Hong's wrist communicator suddenly vibrated, slightly looking at it. The dojo has some matters. We'll leave here for today. The Thunder Dragon Emperor has been killed. Time to go home. Thunder God waved his hand and flew away. Luo Feng and Hong parted ways, returning to their own homes. Flying in the air above China, Luo Feng looked down below. With a glance he could see the dilapidated and decaying cities, with the food and living beasts, and the warriors carefully training within the dilapidated cities. Looking at the warriors, Luo Feng felt like he was looking at himself back then. Luo Feng, Babata shouted excitedly. What's the matter? Why are you so happy? Luo Feng asked through his thoughts. The auxiliary energy system has been completed. From now on, the Black Dragon Mountain X-81 ship is in perfect condition. Just one more day, after I've finished installing the auxiliary energy system, then, you'll be able to ride the Black Dragon ship and travel through the universe, roaming the vast universe, seeing the countless races in the universe. Babata was extremely excited. It had been too long. It had been trapped underground for too long. It had long wanted to explore the universe. I can travel through the universe? Luo Feng was shocked, stopping his flight, floating in mid-air. Right. Babata was extremely excited. Luo Feng couldn't help but feel his blood boil. If an ordinary person from Earth thought of going to the moon one day, they would probably be so excited that they would not be able to sleep. Not to mention, Luo Feng now had hopes of universe travel, roaming the universe and seeing the countless human races in the universe. This kind of excitement was indeed uncontrollable. Of course Luo Feng loved his home, Earth. But occasionally going to other planets in the universe to take a look is also very good. Luo Feng, once your Earth is discovered by other adventurers or some countries in the universe, you will be in trouble. Therefore, you must integrate into the universe as soon as possible. That way, it'll be beneficial to Earth's survival in the future. Babata was thinking of ways to persuade Luo Feng to explore the universe. Merging into the universe, the most important thing is, you have to open an account in the Virtual Universe Network. That way, you can enter the virtual universe and interact with the countless races, Babata said. To an intelligent life like Babata, the temptation of entering the virtual universe was not any weaker than roaming the real universe. Just go to a foreign planet once, open an account, and then come back to Earth. Babata anxiously persuaded. Rest assured. Luo Feng smiled. Of course I have to go. I even want to go right now, but I've just thought about it. My internal world, I estimate it'll take about a month before it evolves. When that time comes, the golden horned beast's power will be even stronger. It's better to wait until it evolves before heading to the planet. A month? Oh, all right. Babata was helpless, but he still agreed. Universe? Luo Feng stood high up in the sky of the wilderness, looking at the 10,000 li of mountains and rivers. His heart had already floated to the vast and mysterious space. In the universe space, within the famous void region of the Milky Way. So, the silver saucer-shaped spaceship was flying steadily at an astonishing speed, constantly approaching the direction of Earth. Within the ship, A handsome middle-aged man dressed in a silver-gray uniform stood before the control board. Beside him, a strong and sturdy man with a face covered in black fur, his entire body like a chimpanzee, about 2 centimeters tall, said worriedly, "Captain, right now the captain's family's fleet is already in the void region. When that time comes, will the family steal the captain's benefits? Only giving a small portion to the captain?" "Humph," the handsome middle-aged man said coldly. "Even though my relationship with my grandfather is a little strained, he's not that kind of person. However, this is after all a life planet." The black gorilla man said, "Without seeing the planet, its value is inestimable. However, this is after all an invincible warrior once took over a life planet, its value will definitely be higher than a normal life planet. In front of such huge benefits, even blood brothers will kill each other. Captain, you have to be careful." The handsome middle-aged man glanced at the gorilla, then looked around at the other crew members, and smiled. "Everyone, no matter what, the benefits of our adventurer team will not be reduced. After all, you are my companions who have gone through life and death with me." The crew members all smiled. "The moment we reach the life planet, we'll immediately take samples and gather data. Just taking samples and collecting data will take a few days," the handsome middle-aged man said. "When that time comes, I can immediately enter the virtual universe network and find a buyer. The family won't be faster than us. Everything is in our hands." The handsome middle-aged man laughed. "The more benefits the family gives me, the more I'll give them. Everyone, your share will definitely not be small." Immediately there was a round of laughter. "Atuka, how much longer until we reach the first life planet?" the handsome middle-aged man asked. A child's head appeared on the control panel, saying crisply, "Captain, we'll arrive in 91 days. "Very good." The handsome middle-aged man revealed a smile. The silver-gray adventure universe ship headed towards Earth. Late September, Earth, China, 8,000 meters above Jiangnan headquarters city, a huge black ship floated. The ship, within a large study room in the middle. Luo Feng stood calmly in the study room. With a wave of his hand, a small pile of dark red metal appeared on the floor. It was the 92 tons of black iron essence metal. 92 tons. Daily swallowing 92 tons of black iron essence. The black iron essence from last year's winter is about to be used up. Luo Feng felt the pressure. His life world was like a bottomless pit. Even though it didn't eat much daily, it couldn't withstand the daily swallowing of the black iron essence left behind by the millions of miners. It hadn't even been a year, and it was about to be used up. Today is the day of transformation. Luo Feng extended his right hand. The surrounding space seemed to distort, enveloping the 92 tons of black iron essence. Shwa! The black iron essence vanished. The metal continent, surrounded by large amounts of golden mist, the sky too was covered in golden mist. In mid-air, a silhouette suddenly stopped. It was a huge golden horned beast covered in black scales. The golden horned beast looked at the pile of black iron essence that suddenly appeared on the metal continent, its huge dark golden eyes filled with a sense of glee. Hoo-hoo, the pile of black iron essence, almost like it had evaporated into a thick golden mist, its size slowly shrinking. The surrounding golden mist got thicker and thicker. About 5 minutes later, the 92 tons of black iron essence had completely disappeared. Rumble, the metal continent shook. The golden mist that covered the sky and land enveloped the entire continent, enveloping the entire metal continent. Large amounts of the golden mist swiftly solidified, becoming a part of the continent, causing the entire continent to grow larger and larger. After an unknown amount of time, everything stopped. The golden mist that enveloped the metal continent dispersed, flying out of the continent, flying into the skies above. Only a ball of golden mist was left within the golden horned beast's body. The golden horned beast's body size was constantly increasing, until it stopped growing. Its current body length had already reached 420 m. The entire metal continent had a circumference of 40 kilometers. Its altitude was also 40 kilometers. Only after 40 kilometers in the air would there be golden mist. Black Dragon Ship, Study Room. The golden horned beast is already a star level 4. Luo Feng opened his eyes, filled with glee. Even though using the black iron essence costs money, the speed is fast. The growth of the internal world, the first 3 levels were the fastest. The middle 3 levels were slightly harder, the last 3 levels were extremely difficult. The last 9 levels, entering a new level, the time it took was the sum of all the previous levels combined. Star level 1 to 3, normal evolution, took 1.5 years to complete. Level 3 to 6, normal evolution, took 6 years. Every level required around 2 years. Level 6 to 9, 36 years. Every level required around 12 years. And from star level 9 to universe level 1, over 50 years. One could only imagine how difficult the last step was. And this was the golden horned beast. If it were any other race, the difficulty was unimaginable. Nighttime. Luo Feng sat in the living room, watching television, accompanying his wife and son. Luo Feng, why didn't you train today? You're accompanying us to watch television? Su Xian hugged her son on her lap, smiling. I'm just accompanying you. I'm preparing to head out tomorrow. This time I'll probably be gone for a while. Luo Feng said. Going out to do something, how long? Su Xian couldn't help but ask. About a month. Luo Feng said. That long? Su Xian was shocked. On Earth today, what other things could make Luo Feng spend so much time? Luo Feng clearly remembered what Babata had told him before. The destination this time was a flourishing and powerful planet 320,000 light-years away from Earth. Dragon Star. That was a superplanet that was hundreds and thousands of times more flourishing than the Silver Blue Empire's capital planet. Strong people gathered there. It was a place in the universe where normal people with status and power loved to go. That kind of place was much less barbaric and bloody, it was much safer. Of course, the prerequisite was that you had money and status. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have the right to enter. Dragon Star. Luo Feng muttered within. Luo Feng, going out for a month. Where are you going? Su Xian couldn't help but ask. P.S. 2 chapters completed. I've discovered, my monthly votes aren't going up, I'm not sure why. Everyone's monthly votes and recommendation votes please support Tomato. Chapter 280. Suddenly leaving home for a month indeed caused his wife and parents to question him. Luo Feng had a huge headache, afraid that his family would worry. He could only lie and say that he was going to a secret location to train. The next morning, Luo Feng was eating breakfast with his family. After finishing this breakfast, he would be leaving Earth, leaving the Milky Way galaxy, heading towards a planet far away from the Milky Way galaxy. Dragon Star. Brother! Luo Hua walked in from outside the door. I heard that you're going out for a month? He didn't even tell me. If my parents didn't tell me, I wouldn't even know. I was going to tell you before I left, said Luo Feng as he drank his porridge. How helpless! Luo Feng didn't plan on directly informing his brother and his 2 brothers Hong and Thunder God, since it would be troublesome to explain. With Luo Feng's current speed, he wouldn't even need a day to circle the Earth. Going out for a month? What for? He said he was going to cultivate in seclusion. Meng Hong and Thunder God, however, were having a hard time. Little Hai Ping Ping. Luo Feng hugged his 2 children. Daddy, kiss me. His eldest son Luo Ping stretched his little face over and kissed Luo Feng. Beside him, little Hai also stretched his little face out and pouted. However, his wife Su Xian, parents, and younger brother were all worried. Don't worry. There's no place in the world that can threaten me. However, this seclusion was very important. He could not be disturbed by anyone, and the requirements for the environment were very strict. So I have to go out for a bit. Luo Feng comforted his family. Little Xian, when I'm not home, take care of Mom and Dad. If Hong and Thunder God call, tell them that I'm in seclusion and cannot be disturbed. N. Su Xian nodded. Then I'm leaving. Luo Feng put the two kids on the ground and smiled as he walked out. The whole family, including the two children, walked into the courtyard. Goodbye, Dad. The two children shouted in a clear voice. Goodbye. Luo Feng smiled and waved, slowly rising into the air. The family members looked up at Luo Feng rising into the sky, until he disappeared from their sight. High in the sky, a huge black disc-shaped ship appeared. The cabin door opened and Luo Feng swiftly flew in. The cabin door closed. After that, it quickly broke through the air and flew toward the outer space of Earth. Black Dragon Flying Ship, Control Room. Luo Feng, dressed in a blood-red battle uniform, stood in front of the control board screen. The demon Babata's little face appeared on the screen. Babata proudly revealed his fangs. Luo Feng, the ship has left Earth. Exterior, 100% simulation, said Luo Feng. Shwa. Everything in the control room disappeared. Fortunately, he was standing on the ground so he could feel the ground. It was invisible to the naked eye. He looked around him. In the boundless starry sky, he turned around and looked behind him. It was a huge blue planet, Earth. Babata, this is my first time leaving Earth and going to another planet with life. I can't help but feel. I can't calm down. Luo Feng couldn't help but say. It's just like when you were taking the college entrance exam. This is called being nervous. On the screen, Babata grabbed an apple and took a few bites. He chuckled. It's not strange. In Chinese, Granny Lu enters the Grandview Garden, is the same as a country bumpkin entering the city for the first time. You're going from Earth to a powerful and prosperous planet like Horned Dragon Star, of course you're nervous. Luo Feng nodded. Actually, the main thing is, a place like Horned Dragon Star, according to Babata, is 100 times more prosperous than the capital of the elementary-level civilization, the Silver Blue Empire, which controls 8 galaxies. Luo Feng has never even been to the Silver Blue Empire. Going to Horned Dragon Star all of a sudden, how could he not be nervous? Fortunately, as a spirit reader, his awareness is strong, so he quickly adjusted his emotions. Babata, the ship hasn't reached light speed yet? Luo Feng couldn't help but to ask. If it's the UNMO planet ship, of course it would reach light speed very quickly. However, it's only a C5 grade ship. On the screen, Babata shook his head in disdain. After that, he laughed. Of course, this C5 grade ship is considered a relatively high-class ship in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Universe-level warriors, some can only pilot such ship. The Black Dragon ship's acceleration is not bad. If it were those common ships from the interstellar fleets, then the acceleration would be slow. And some low-class trash ships, when accelerating, cause too much acceleration. They even need the passengers to enter the safety cabin. Otherwise, the passengers might die, said Babata. Luo Feng suddenly realized. That's right, acceleration. Accelerating to light speed, even if 1 second of acceleration increases by 500 kilometers per second. That's still 50,000 times Earth's gravity. However, within the ship, he didn't feel anything at all. This is the advantage of a high-class ship. This ship has an automatic gravity control system. It can automatically adjust itself, maintaining the ship's internal gravity at a fixed value. Right now, the gravity within the ship is 1 times Earth's gravity. Babata said. Right. Luo Feng was shocked. He had been walking in the ship the same as on Earth. There was no difference in gravity. If Babata didn't mention it, he wouldn't have realized it. Now that Babata said it, Luo Feng realized, in the universe, the ship maintaining Earth's gravity. This was something worth noting. Haha, I've been on Earth for too long, I've gotten used to this gravity, I didn't even realize it. Luo Feng laughed. Another 12 seconds, we'll reach light speed. Babata shouted. 10, 9. On the screen, Babata's little face was extremely serious, counting down. 8. 7. Luo Feng looked outside. His naked eye could no longer see the planets clearly, he could only see the surrounding space blur, gradually turning dark. How weird! Luo Feng held his breath. 3, 2, 1. Babata shouted. In the vast starry sky there was a blurry black spaceship. Suddenly, the space rippled. The ship disappeared. It wasn't because it reached light speed, the naked eye couldn't see it disappear, but it truly disappeared from the universe. Rumble. Luo Feng felt the ship vibrate slightly, vibrating for about 10 seconds, the surroundings were completely dark, after which it calmed down. Universe travel successful, we've entered the dark universe. Babata shouted on the screen, deactivating the exterior simulation. Dark universe? Luo Feng was very curious. Babata, what's the dark universe like? Right now the ship is flying at light speed, there's no way to capture the exterior. Babata said, we need to decelerate to capture it, however, accelerating and decelerating consumes a lot of energy. Luo Feng, I'll directly simulate a few scenes of the dark universe for you to see. Before Luo Feng's eyes, a screen appeared in mid-air. A beautiful scene appeared on the screen. It was a vast space, and there were only specks of light shining like fireflies. This was an ocean of specks of light. Other than the beautiful specks of light, there was nothing else in this vast space. Oh, there's still the ship. The coordinates of the dark universe and the actual universe we live in correspond. However, in the dark universe, we'll fly a certain distance, for example 30 light seconds, and then travel back to the actual universe. You'll discover the distance you'll travel is 30 light seconds, 10,081,000 times. Babata said, the dark universe and the actual universe, according to the ratio, is 1. 10,081,000 times. Luo Feng was secretly shocked. Flying at light speed in the dark universe for a year was only 1 light year. However, traveling through the universe and returning to the actual universe, that was 10,080,000 light years away. In the actual universe, matter is unable to break through light speed. The moment it reaches light speed, it'll directly travel through the universe, arriving in the dark universe. In the dark universe, however, it can break through light speed. Babata said, right now the ship is slowly accelerating. This Black Dragon ship's maximum speed is 1.5 times light speed, however to conserve energy 1.2 times light speed is just right. Babata said. The estimated time to reach Dragon Star is close to 10 days. Luo Feng, during this period of time, you can rest or train well. The days of flying in the dark universe were very dry and boring. 9 days later. Luo Feng, there's still 20 minutes before we reach Dragon Star. Babata said. Right, Babata, from the actual universe to the dark universe, one needs to reach light speed. Then what about returning? From the dark universe to the actual universe, how do we travel? Luo Feng was curious, this vast universe was too mysterious. How could the people of Earth think of what would happen if they reached light speed? As for the theory of reaching light speed, one could go back in time, Luo Feng never agreed. A faraway planet that was 1 million light years away from Earth. Then what the people of Earth saw could be scenes from 1 million years ago. According to some people's deductions, if one exceeded the speed of light and flew towards this planet, they would be able to see the planet's time flow backwards, and see the planet's scenes from before. However, from Luo Feng's point of view, what a joke! That planet's time flow backwards was only visible to the naked eye. In fact, in essence, that planet was constantly aging. Very simple, slow down until it stops. Then it will automatically travel back to the actual universe. Babata said, in this dark universe, there's no such thing as static matter. Oh! Luo Feng was shocked. The ship gradually slowed down from 1.2 times the speed of light all the way until it stopped. Luo Feng felt the ship beneath his feet vibrate slightly. The vibration lasted for about 10 seconds, before everything calmed down. Universe travel successful, return to the actual universe. Babata said. External simulation, 100%. Luo Feng said. Shua. Luo Feng immediately saw the vast space around him. The most special thing was, with a glance, he saw a distant planet that seemed to be glowing with a rainbow light, and around this planet, there were 2 satellites. That planet is Dragon Star. Babata said. Luo Feng, enter Dragon Star and follow our plan. Babata, you said entering the planet requires money. However, I don't have any currency. Luo Feng said. No matter how much money he had on Earth, the Silver Blue Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, how could they recognize his Earth's currency? Here, it was just a useless printed picture. You don't have it, I do. Babata shouted. However, Master's bank card is useless to you, it's bound to a spiritual imprint. However, Master left behind some coins, those are the coins he always carried with him. Sometimes, coins are also useful. Coins? Luo Feng was stunned. Right, I've carefully searched the entire storage space, and found 932 Ganwu dollars. Babata said. $932? Luo Feng blinked twice. So poor. These are Ganwu dollars, not Black Dragon dollars, and definitely not the cheap silver blue dollars. Babata shouted, for you to survive on Dragon Star for a period of time, it's still enough. P.S. Here's the first chapter. Chapter 281. In official places, Ganwu dollars can be exchanged for Black Dragon dollars, and Black Dragon dollars can also be exchanged for silver blue dollars, Babata said. But on the contrary, silver blue coins cannot be exchanged for Black Dragon coins through the officials. The Black Dragon dollar is also unable to be officially converted into Ganwu dollars. Luo Feng nodded. He understood this logic. If Earth were to become part of the universe's human family and take the universe's currency and place it on Earth, some of the Earth's upper echelons would definitely be willing to exchange. But using USD, Chinese currency, to exchange for the universe's currency? Would the universe countries agree? Of course, you can exchange it on the black market, Babata said. During the conversation, the Black Dragon ship had already accelerated, flying towards the distant Horned Dragon Star. Luo Feng stood within the Black Dragon ship's control room. In front of him was the external simulation. He could clearly see the ship approaching Dragon Star, almost touching the atmosphere. Dragon Star's atmosphere was very special. One could even see it clearly with the naked eye. All sorts of colored air masses slowly flowed, making the entire planet look extremely beautiful from the outside. I've received the signal. Babata said. Luo Feng, the ship will follow the signal and arrive at the docking bay. Luo Feng nodded. He had also heard from Babata that when arriving at a planet, it was absolutely impossible to let the spaceship fly around randomly. It had to enter the docking port. Of course, if you are as strong as the master of Yunmo planet, of course you can use force. For a high-level planet like the Horned Dragon Star, only area lords could ignore the traction signal and directly fly into the planet. Of course, the domain master would usually give Horned Dragon Star some face. After all, the master of this Horned Dragon Star was a domain lord. The Black Dragon ship pierced through the atmosphere. Through the external simulation, Luo Feng could see a huge silver city below him. This was an extremely vast docking bay. Within the docking bay, there were large numbers of ships. Some were big and some were small. The small ones were only tens of meters long, some even tens of meters. The long ones were usually large transport ships that were tens of thousands of meters long. Received the signal, we're going to the C-class zone. Babata said on the control screen. Area A is filled with ordinary spaceships and battleships. In the B-class zone, there were B-class spaceships and battleships. In the C-class zone, there were C-class spaceships and battleships. There's even a D-class zone above it, Babata explained. It was a huge docking port. It was divided into a few big regions. In the C-grade region, every spaceship and battleship was incomparably expensive. The Black Dragon flying ship slowly descended and finally landed. The cabin door opened. This planet's gravity is about 3 times that of Earth's. Luo Feng flew out of the cabin door, immediately feeling the change in gravity. Luo Feng turned to look. A man dressed in a gray uniform, about 2.8 m tall, with 2 curved horns on his head, green-skinned strong man flew over, landing in front of Luo Feng. He was humble and courteous. With a smile on his face he spoke in fluent universe language. "Respected sir, welcome to Dragon Star, your Black Dragon Mountain X-81 ship. Parking fee is 600 Black Dragon dollars per year. Less than a year, 600 Black Dragon coins will be charged. This is your parking card." As he said that, he took out a translucent silver card with both hands and handed it to Luo Feng. There was a C symbol on the card. "Luo Feng, do you still remember what I said before?" Babata had told Luo Feng in detail what to do if he encountered any problems on Dragon Star. "Understood." Luo Feng smiled. With a flip of his hand, a coin appeared and he threw it over. "Ganwu dollar." The green-skinned man's eyes gleamed. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire's official exchange, 1 Ganwu dollar could be exchanged for 1,000 Black Dragon dollars. However, 1,000 Black Dragon dollars couldn't be exchanged for Ganwu dollars. If it was through the black market, it was possible. However, normally, around 1,000 to 2,000 Black Dragon dollars could only be exchanged for 1 Ganwu dollar. And normal citizens didn't even know where the black market was. Ganwu dollar, this was a symbol of status. Riding in a luxurious X-81 ship, using Ganwu dollars, damn, his background must be huge. The green-skinned man was extremely envious. He was a Star Traveler Level 9 fighter. On Dragon Star, he was just a normal citizen. If he could break through to the star level, his status would rise. But even if it was a star-level warrior, when faced with this kind of luxurious C5 grade ship made of pure metal, and used Ganwu dollars as currency, they would also feel weak. No need to ask. This was the proof of a big family, a huge background. No need for change. Luo Feng said casually. "Thank you, sir." The green-skinned man was extremely respectful. This kind of big family disciple could easily command over 10,000 Star Traveler Level 9 underlings. And at this time, a ship that was completely dyed black and white with a weird pattern descended not even 100 m away from Luo Feng. Similarly, a staff member wearing a gray uniform flew over. The cabin door opened during the descent, and a plump, black-haired youth flew out first. There were 2 purple stripes on his face, and his eyes were squinted, making him look very cute. His height was similar to Luo Feng's. Wah! The fat youth flew out. Following behind him were 4 black gorilla-like strong men. The 4 behind him, 3 Star Level 3s and 1 Star Level 8. The fat youth is a Star Traveler Level 3. Babata immediately informed Luo Feng. Luo Feng was shocked. The fat youth actually had 4 Star Level bodyguards under him. It was truly infuriating to compare. Coming to this planet that was even more prosperous than the Silver Blue Empire's capital star, Luo Feng finally got to see a true big family disciple. Damn, damn, damn. The fat youth flew to Luo Feng's Black Dragon ship, caressing the ship's body, his eyes gleaming, screaming, "Damn, this is an old model from over 1,000,000 years ago, Black Dragon Mountain X-81. Anyone with this ship would have kept it long ago. And it's a luxury made from pure black yttrium metal, to actually see such a ship today." "Hi, brother." The fat youth fiercely rushed to Luo Feng, his face full of smiles. "This X-81 ship of yours, when you don't want it anymore, how about selling it to me? After 10 years, I'll be able to afford it." "Oh, let me first introduce myself. I'm called Gao Xing Wei Di. Just call me Gao Xing will do." He spoke fluent universe language. "Gao Xing, this Black Dragon ship, I've gone through many modifications and repairs before I could completely fix it. I can't bear to sell it now. Luo Feng followed Babata's warning from before, speaking very casually. An old model from over 1,000,000 years ago, after being used for over 1,000,000 years, many parts have decayed. Repairing it isn't as easy as buying a new one. Brother, you're indeed a kindred spirit, Gao Xing complimented. This kind of pure metal luxury, driving it out, that's a lot of face. Luo Feng laughed. In truth, the Black Dragon ship was at the bottom of Earth's ocean. That mothership wreckage had been left untouched for close to 1,000,000 years, hence the decay was minimal. Brother, you haven't even introduced yourself. The fat youth laughed. I'm called Luo Feng. Luo Feng smiled. Brother Luo Feng, you're alone? No bodyguards? From here to Dragon City, there's still a distance of a few thousand kilometers. And on Dragon Star, only those within the city are protected. Outside of the city there's no protection. Along the way there might be bandits. The fat youth said. Luo Feng laughed. Shua. Beside him, 2 black-clothed liquid silver guards appeared. Damn, liquid silver guards? Gao Xing nodded. 2 liquid silver guards, one to protect, one to tie down the enemy. After the liquid silver guards expand, they can easily wrap around a few hundred people. After the enemy escapes, the other liquid silver guard will come and tie them down. 2 liquid silver guards taking turns, it's incomparably safe. Luo Feng laughed. Back then, the liquid silver guards were able to tie down the golden horn beast, a huge being like that. To tie down humans, they could indeed wrap around a few hundred people. Brother Luo Feng, if you don't mind, let's go together, with my 4 bodyguards here. No one will come and cause trouble. Gao Xing laughed. Agree to go with him, there'll be less trouble. Babata said. Let's go together. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. So. Luo Feng and Gao Xing rose into the air, the 4 bodyguards following behind. At the same time, Gao Xing and the 4 bodyguards' armor appeared. Luo Feng too had his cloud contact armor appear. The group of 6 flew in the air. Luo Feng, how much did you spend on that Black Dragon ship? Gao Xing couldn't help but ask, obviously as a ship enthusiast. He was infatuated with that ship. Babata? Luo Feng shouted within. He didn't know how much to answer. Tell him, I spent 9 billion Black Dragon dollars, 2 billion Black Dragon dollars for the repairs. Babata said. That much? Luo Feng was shocked within. The official exchange, 1 Black Dragon dollar could be exchanged for 1,000 silver blue dollars, meaning this ship cost 11 billion Black Dragon dollars, worth 11 trillion silver blue dollars. How can it be much? This is pure black yttrium metal. The entire ship weighs about 2 million tons. Every ton of black yttrium is worth 3,000 Black Dragon dollars, about 3 million silver blue dollars. Just the black yttrium material alone is worth 6 trillion silver blue dollars. Babata said, Luo Feng, don't look at the universe from Earth's perspective. 1 ton of black yttrium is 3,000 Black Dragon dollars. 1 ton of B-grade black iron essence is only 9 Black Dragon dollars. A grade black iron? That's even cheaper. Luo Feng realized. It was indeed not expensive. 1 ton of black iron essence was only $9. Black yttrium, 1 ton was $3,000. It was not expensive. This is pure metal. If it were alloys it would be cheaper. After all, alloys are harder, the effects are better. The same C5 grade ship, if it were alloys, the price would be 1/10 of the price, maybe even lower. Hence, using pure metal to build a ship is considered a luxury. Just like on Earth, using gold to build cars. Luo Feng sighed within. No wonder this Gao Xing was so shocked. Pure metal was indeed a luxury. If one wasn't extremely rich, they wouldn't be able to afford it. This Black Dragon ship, back then I spent 9 billion Black Dragon dollars to buy it, the modifications and maintenance cost 2 billion. Luo Feng said. Woo. Gao Xing nodded. Brother, you've earned a little. This old model, it's hard to buy it now. In another 10 years, my father will agree to transfer a planet to my name. There are 11 billion people on the planet, roughly estimating. Each person can earn me 100 calodollars a year, which is 0.06 black dragon dollars. An annual income of over 600 million black dragon dollars, with just one planet. Getting a loan of 20 billion black dragon dollars isn't hard. Luo Feng smiled. Within he was shocked. My God? An entire planet under his name? 11 billion people earning money for him? Luo Feng finally understood the difference between Earth's super-rich and the universe's super-rich. Earth's assets could be said to have a few houses. This universe's super-rich, it could be said to have a few planets. Rich people. At the same time, Luo Feng understood Earth's seabed. The Black Dragon ship's original owner had a huge background. However, his own teacher, the master of the UNMO planet, annihilated the entire interstellar fleet in one move. That person died too. Earth's 1,000 light-year star field was completely taken over by his teacher, even that important person who died sullenly. His background obviously didn't dare mess with an undying being. Hence, he quietly died. P.S. 2 chapters completed. I wanted to write more realistically about the universe. Don't tell me everyone thinks this isn't good. Chapter 282. So beautiful. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. The sky above was almost like a purple veil. And in the distant horizon, it had become blue. The color of Dragon Star's sky is indeed one of a kind. Gao Xing also smiled and praised. In some areas, the sky is blue. In some areas, it's purple, green, red, and so on. Moreover, it often changes, especially when the sunlight shines through the atmosphere and shines on the ocean. It's even more beautiful. Dragon Star, it's because of its beautiful scenery that many warriors have been attracted to live here. Slowly, Dragon Star has become even more prosperous. Gao Xing exclaimed. In this group of people, the slowest flying was Gao Xing. However, Gao Xing's feet were stepping on a strange streamlined platform. His flying speed could reach about 2,000 meters per second. While chatting, they quickly flew over 100 kilometers. Woo! Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, looking at the distant city. This was an extremely beautiful city, roughly equivalent to a city on Earth. Brother Luo Feng, you're envious too? Haha, that's considered a luxurious residence on Dragon Star, a castle with a length and width of 9.8 kilometers. To be able to buy such a castle, one must be extremely powerful. Gao Xing's eyes gleamed. Damn, I don't know when I'll be able to afford it. Castle? Luo Feng was shocked. Luo Feng, that's a real estate, a more luxurious one. Similar to your Earth's villas. Babata said. The universe is vast, there are countless planets, hence the upper echelons of the universe are used to living in extremely large places. Like your teacher, a planet is his residence. For a flourishing planet like Dragon Star, the land is more expensive, hence, a castle with a length and width of 9.8 kilometers is considered luxurious. If it were a normal planet, it wouldn't be much. Luo Feng couldn't help but curse within. They weren't even on the same level. The place he lived in was actually a castle with a length and width of 9.8 kilometers. Luo Feng flew. He saw another castle. In the distance there was another castle. On the beautiful Dragon Star, having one's own castle was indeed luxurious. After flying for about 10 minutes, Luo Feng gazed downwards. Below was a dense cluster of buildings, many small castles. This is the cheapest residential property on Horned Dragon Star. This kind of manor is only 1 kilometer in length and width. If it was in our Kaluo Empire, even on the Imperial Star, it would be amazing if we could sell it for 1 billion black dragon dollars. Gao Xing cursed in a low voice, but on Horned Dragon Star, even the cheapest manor like this costs more than 10 billion black dragon dollars. Luo Feng blinked twice. Over 10 billion black dragon dollars? Luo Feng, do you have any property here? Asked Gao Xing. No, I'm too young, Luo Feng said. Yeah, me too. Gao Xing nodded. My dad has been cutting down my pocket money. He even gave me a planet 10 years later, after my coming-of-age ceremony. Gao Xing seemed very dissatisfied. Otherwise, I could have built a manor on the Horned Dragon Star and lived there when I was relaxing. At that time, I will be a resident of Dragon Star. On this Horned Dragon Star, you can do whatever you want. Luo Feng nodded. Before coming here, Babata had told himself that once one became a resident of the Horned Dragon Star, he would receive special treatment. However, according to the price of property here, those who can afford a manor here, or even an even more expensive castle, are probably the royalty of the subordinate countries, low-level civilized countries of the universe, or the children of large families. At the very least, they would be the leader of a planet. Even if they owned a planet, they might not be able to afford the property here. After flying for close to half an hour, Luo Feng finally saw an incomparably huge city in the distance. The entire city's walls were as black as ink, extending to the ends of one's vision. One couldn't even see the end of it, and on top of the city's walls, there were transparent glass engravings. Beautiful glass dragons were entrenched on top of the city's walls. When Luo Feng got closer, he realized that the black-as-ink walls also had complicated engravings. They were engravings of a single horned dragon. What a huge city! Luo Feng, Gao Xing and the others landed on the ground. They raised their heads and looked at the huge city walls, their hearts trembling. Just the height of the black city walls was about 120 m. Including the glass dragon engravings on top of the black city walls, it was at least a few hundred meters, and the entire huge city stretched to the ends of the sky. One couldn't even see the end of it. That vast, ancient aura was shocking. Dragon City, its length and width are close to 6,000 kilometers. This city's history has already been around for over 3 million years. Gao Xing complimented. It's the same as what Babata told me. Luo Feng realized. Even though Babata had been on Earth for 50,000 years, even after 50,000 years, the changes in the entire universe were very, very small. Whether it was technology, empires, organizations, etc., there weren't many changes. Obviously, to empires that had existed for hundreds of millions of years, 50,000 years indeed, didn't have much of an effect. The huge city gate was close to 1 kilometer wide. People weaved in and out. Luo Feng, Gao Xing and the others walked through the gate. I've received the signal. Luo Feng, your communication number in Dragon City is 1928-734-2325. Babata said. The communication number was similar to a phone number. Because no matter how powerful the communication device was, it couldn't be used to make a call from so many light years away. Some civilized planets would automatically send a code to every living being that came to the planet's quantum computer. On this planet, one could use the communication device to communicate with each other. And on different planets, there was only one way to communicate. Entering the virtual universe network, within the virtual universe, one could chat. Luo Feng, what's your communication number? Gao Xing looked at Luo Feng. Mine is 1928-734-2463. Mine is 1928-734-2325. Luo Feng replied. Alright. Gao Xing laughed. I've just arrived at Dragon City, and need to meet an elder. We'll part ways here. I'll inform you tonight, I'll treat you, we'll have dinner together. Gao Xing was influenced by his father. He liked to make friends, one more friend meant one more path. From his point of view, Luo Feng obviously had some background. Alright, then we'll part ways here. Luo Feng laughed. Parting ways with Gao Xing and the others, Luo Feng walked through the huge city, feeling that it was incomparably beautiful. The surrounding buildings all had different styles. Many of the buildings were indeed beautiful enough to make one's heart tremble. Too interesting. 3 eyes. Ah, this person's mouth and teeth are so interesting. Luo Feng walked on the streets. The streets were bustling with people. At the same time, 100 m up in the air, there were large amounts of people flying. Even though they were called people, their appearances were all extremely strange. In just 5 minutes, Luo Feng saw that the tallest of the people was close to 10 m, the shortest one was like a baby on earth. Their skin colors were all different. Even some of their heads were strangely shaped. However, most of them still had 2 eyes, 1 nose and 1 mouth, just that their faces were either covered in hair, or with strange markings, etc. That person is almost like the Buddha from the legends. His entire body is golden. His hair is even more interesting. Luo Feng really felt like he had entered the Grand View Garden. His eyes weren't even enough to see. Star Traveler Level 6, Star Traveler Level 9, Star Traveler Level 3, Star Traveler Level 1, Star Traveler Level 5. Luo Feng relied on Babata, discovering many people's strength. On the streets of Dragon Star, within the densely packed endless streams of people, almost all of them were Star Traveler levels. There were even quite a few Star Traveler levels. Any one of them, thrown on Earth, would be in existence surpassing the War God level. Casually looking, one could find people even stronger than Earth's strongest, Hong, Luo Feng and Thunder God. Luo Feng, I've already called the planet's service number to inquire. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire's administrative building on this planet is about 200 kilometers away from here. Babata said, according to our plan, the first thing we do upon arriving on Dragon Star is to join the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and obtain citizenship. Let's go. Luo Feng immediately rose into the air, flying 100 m above the ground. Flying people all flew at this height. Star level 7, 8 and 9, I've already seen a bunch of them. How come I haven't seen a single universe level? Luo Feng asked within. Star levels, they're considered important. On normal small planets, they're still rarely seen. However, on a planet like Dragon Star, star levels are more common. As for universe levels, how many are there in the entire Silver Blue Empire? Of course there are universe levels on Dragon Star, however to meet one would require luck. While they were talking, Luo Feng saw a huge black dragon entrenched in a tall mountain carving. This was the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's administrative building on Dragon Star. At the entrance of the building, there were 2 bronze-skinned muscular guards close to 6 m tall. They're liquid silver guards. They really are liquid silver guards. The 2 giant guards immediately stood straight, smiling, as Luo Feng walked to the entrance. They even passionately pushed the door open. Sir, please enter. Babata was right, in the universe, power, status and status are very important. Luo Feng smiled as he walked into the large hall. Behind him were 2 liquid silver guards dressed in black uniforms. Casually looking at the large hall's functions, Luo Feng quickly found the level he needed to go to. Level 32? Luo Feng immediately walked into the round sofa beside and sat down. The liquid silver guards stood beside. Luo Feng simultaneously said, 32. D. The tray below the round sofa emitted a white light. So, he immediately rushed into the sky, without a single shake. When he stopped, he had already reached the 32nd level. Sir, how are you? A lady with rabbit ears, beautiful like a fairy from legends, flew over, slightly bowing, smiling. How may I be of service? I want to become a citizen of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Luo Feng smiled. There were many things to do in the universe. Having a citizen's identity was very necessary. Luckily, with Babata's guidance, Luo Feng was able to do many things very smoothly. If it were Hong or Thunder God, entering a planet at a loss, they probably wouldn't know anything at all. Nationality? The lady was shocked. In this day and age, who didn't have a nationality? P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 283. Sir, please head to the left, the second last room in the innermost area, said the receptionist. Thank you. Luo Feng smiled as he finished. bringing the 2 liquid silver guards behind him, and heading to the left. The receptionist's eyes flashed, thinking to herself. He actually said, "Thank you to a receptionist like me. Wow, this is the attitude of a true big family's disciple. Even though he has 2 liquid silver guards, he doesn't have any arrogance." Luo Feng looked at the door. There was a label on it. Knock, knock, knock. Luo Feng knocked on the door. "Please enter," a powerful voice resounded from within. Luo Feng pushed the door open and entered. Inside was a spacious room, with 2 workers, both black-skinned and extremely skinny men, their eyes blood-red. One of the 2 casually raised his head, but after seeing the 2 liquid silver guards behind Luo Feng, his face immediately revealed a passionate smile. "Sir, how may I be of service? I hope to become a citizen of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire," smiled Luo Feng. Low-level civilizations in the universe have the worst citizenship. And middle-level civilizations, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's citizenship isn't bad, at least when he's weak. Luo Feng didn't plan on leaving the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's territory. Once one became a universe-level warrior or even stronger, there wouldn't be much of a difference no matter what nationality one was. "Oh, I wonder what nationality you had before? Did you release your original nationality?" One of the black men with red pupils smiled. "No nationality," said Luo Feng. "No nationality?" The black man with red pupils was slightly shocked. He couldn't help but to carefully look at Luo Feng, and then at the 2 liquid silver guards behind him. Normal people on a planet, if they haven't reached the Star Traveler level, they won't be able to obtain citizenship. The prerequisite to obtaining citizenship is one has to reach the Star Traveler level. This was also the reason why Luo Feng said during Earth's calamity, even if he left Earth, his wife and children would have to stay on the ship for tens of years, until they reach the Star Traveler level. Only then could they enter other planets. Non-citizens, entering some planets, aren't protected by the Empire. If a normal person reaches the Star Traveler level, they can obtain citizenship for the first time. However, the person in front of him had 2 liquid silver guards as bodyguards. Could he be a normal person? He's probably an elite raised by some power, just entering the world for the first time, thought the black man with red pupils. "Sir, please stand here and don't move." The black man with red eyes smiled. "All right." Luo Feng was very clear on what he wanted to do. The black man with red pupils pressed the device on his arm. Beep, a dreamy light enveloped Luo Feng. Beep beep. The machine emitted a sound. The black man with red eyes looked down at the screen. On it were the words written in the common language of the universe. "No such person found. Since Mr. has never been a citizen, many steps can be skipped." The black man with red eyes smiled. "Sir, you only need to pay 50 black dragon dollars and everything will be settled. On Dragon Star, there are many places that require black dragon dollars." Luo Feng flipped his hand and threw out a Ganwu dollar. "Help me break it open." Ganwu dollars. The black man with red pupils was elated within, swiftly retrieving a special note that was as thin as a cicada's wing. A small stack of notes passed to Luo Feng. "Sir, this is 950 black dragon dollars." At the same time, he placed the Ganwu coin into his pocket and took out 50 black dragon coins from his pocket and placed them into the coin slot of the device, which was then swallowed by the device. "Haha, big bro, it's on us tonight," a black man with slightly bigger eyes shouted. "All right." The black man with red pupils was extremely happy, smiling passionately at Luo Feng. "Sir, follow me, I'll help you settle all the paperwork, it'll be quick." People like them, who worked in government departments, had a wide network of contact. Exchanging the Ganwu dollars for black dragon dollars, he could easily exchange for 1,400 black dragon dollars, meaning, with just one change, he'd earned a few hundred black dragon dollars, hundreds of thousands of silver blue dollars. Even if his job was good, this was still equivalent to 1 or 2 months of his salary. After spending about 20 minutes, Luo Feng received his identification. Since then, Luo Feng had left his record in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's citizen system. This note is interesting, Luo Feng complimented. This note's toughness and toughness are very good on your Earth. A beginner-level war god would have to use his full strength to tear this note. This note can normally be used for 2,000 to 3,000 years, any more and it'll slowly decay. Babata explained. Oh. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng was in a good mood. With the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's citizen status, many things could be done. As the saying goes, without status, it's hard to do anything. Babata, where do I open an account in the virtual universe? Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. Virtual universe. Just from the name, one would know that within the virtual universe network, all of the human countries in the universe, the Ganwu universe country, and many other universe countries' citizens would often be in the virtual universe. In terms of population, it could indeed be said to be innumerable. Too many, too many. It's about 100 kilometers from here. Babata began to give detailed directions. Luo Feng rose into the air. The entire sky above Serpent City, as it was spacious enough, the number of people flying wasn't too high. Luo Feng could maintain a relatively fast flight speed. Babata, just what kind of technology does the virtual universe network have to actually be able to instantly communicate with people from any place in the universe through the network? Luo Feng was very shocked and curious. The universe was incomparably vast. Even with universe travel, some distant places would require hundreds or even thousands of years of dark space flight. However, this virtual universe network actually allowed people to meet and communicate. What technology? What technology does this network use? I don't even know what technology it is, Babata said. This technology, even the Ganwu universe country doesn't have a grasp of it, only the virtual universe company has it. Every big universe country has a virtual universe company division. This company is definitely very powerful. Luo Feng was shocked. His own teacher, the master of the UNMO planet, Hu Yenbo, even though he received the respect of the Ganwu universe country, against a universe country, this kind of incomparably huge high-level civilization, Hu Yenbo didn't dare to easily mess with them. However, the technology that even the big universe countries couldn't grasp was grasped by the virtual universe company. And this company was still doing so well. Of course, Luo Feng, even though the Ganwu universe country and the other universe countries are all high-level civilizations, their powers are extremely powerful. However, in the universe, the truly powerful aren't the countries. Babata said, it's the seemingly messy, but actually incomparably powerful powers. What powers? Luo Feng was curious. Universe Galaxy Bank, Universe First Bank, Battle Axe Dojo, Universe Mercenary Alliance, Virtual Universe Company, these 5 are the 5 Leviathans of the universe. Babata said, they have an absolute monopoly. These 2 big banks do business with the rich, even the undying beings normally store their money and treasures in these 2 banks. Babata said, your teacher's wealth is stored in the Universe Galaxy Bank. The 3 accounts he gave you are all from the Universe Galaxy Bank. Luo Feng nodded. The Battle Axe Dojo is the fairest dojo. As for its power, you'll find out in the future. The Universe Mercenary Alliance, this is a loose organization. Over 99% of fighters and spirit readers will join the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Your teacher, back then, was one of them too. These words shocked Luo Feng. Over 99% of fighters and spirit readers would join? Who could compete with them? Luckily it was a loose organization. Virtual Universe Company, the virtual universe can be said to be humanity's second world. The company that controls this, even the big universe countries can't shake it. How strong do you think it is? Babata exclaimed. Luo Feng understood. In this universe, it seems like the Ganwu universe country and some other universe countries are already the strongest countries. However, the organizations that infiltrate every country are the truly powerful ones. Other than the 5 great Leviathans, below them are the universe countries. Of course, there are also some secret powers that are not much different from the universe countries. Babata said, of course, within the Ganwu universe country's territory. The Ganwu universe country is still very strong. At most they would give face to the 5 great Leviathans. Luo Feng nodded. In the vast universe, looking at it now, even though his teacher was strong back then, but obviously even the Ganwu universe country couldn't afford to offend him, much less the 5 great Leviathans. Dragon City, Virtual Universe Company. What can I do for you, sir? A beautiful woman with a furry tail bowed slightly and smiled. She wore a red uniform and had a pretty face. Open an account. Luo Feng said directly. Opening an account. How much is the Virtual Universe Network fee? It's split into 100 years, 1,000 years and 10,000 years. The yearly network fee is 10 Black Dragon dollars or 0.008 Ganwu dollars. The lady said very fluently. Luo Feng listened. That's black. 10 Black Dragon dollars? That was equivalent to over 10,000 silver blue dollars. Only very few normal people on the planet could afford it, and those who normally used it were mostly Star Traveler level humans. You guys have consciousness sensing helmets, right? Luo Feng said. On Earth, the helmets the Earthlings made themselves were unable to connect to the Virtual Universe Network. And for a living AI like Babata, there were ways to easily connect. Consciousness sensing helmet, one is 10 Black Dragon dollars. The lady's eyes flashed with shock. Right now, those with some status, who didn't use an auxiliary quantum computer or even the higher AI quantum computer, would use the primitive consciousness sensing helmet. What about anonymous accounts? Luo Feng asked. In the universe, a few planet leaders bought consciousness sensing helmets for their own citizens to use. Usually they were anonymous accounts. However, anonymous accounts usually had a duration of 100 years. After that, they would have to buy a new account. These anonymous accounts had no way of binding the user to the user, meaning anyone could use it at most for 100 years. Anonymous accounts have a fixed duration of 100 years. Each account's price is 2,000 Black Dragon dollars or 1.6 Ganwu dollars. The lady smiled. Very good. Luo Feng nodded. I need 10 anonymous accounts, 10 consciousness sensing helmet. Opening an account and paying for 100 years is enough. Chapter 284. Today was the second time. With his Black Dragon Empire citizenship, it was easy to open an account. After paying 17 Ganwu coins, everything was settled. Sir, 10 anonymous accounts have been linked to these 10 consciousness sensing helmets. This is your change. Thank you for your patronage. The lady smiled. Luo Feng casually kept the 10 helmets into his space ring, according to Babata's instructions. He could reveal that he had a space ring on Dragon Star. However, he had to make sure that his space ring was 10 m long, wide and tall. He couldn't store anything larger than that. After all, space storage items were separated into different grades. To be able to ride the Black Dragon ship and have liquid silver guards as bodyguards, having a small storage space item was very normal. Of course, a space ring like Luo Feng's that was over 600 m long, 500 m wide, and 100 m tall was definitely a luxury item. If it was found out, he could very well lose his life. On Luo Feng's body, like the Unmo planet ship, the Undying's body and weapons were all priceless treasures. The hybrid copper essence shard and the space ring were extremely expensive too. A single hair from the Unmo planet master's leg was more powerful than the Dragon Star domain leaders. One could only imagine if Luo Feng, the successor of the Unmo planet, dared to reveal his true treasures, the consequences would be terrifying. Dragon Star, a casual restaurant. Even though the restaurant's style was different, many things were similar to those on Earth. Even on different planets, humans still had many similarities, like paying attention to privacy, wanting to be respected, etc. Earth's ancient restaurants had private rooms, Earth's modern restaurants still had private rooms. And on this extremely developed horned dragon star, there were also private rooms in the restaurants with high privacy. Of course, the fees were much higher. "Alright, you can leave." Luo Feng ordered a strange fruit juice and let the waiter leave. "Sir, if there's anything, please press this button." The waiter smiled and left, closing the door. Luo Feng automatically closed the door from the inside, ordering 2 liquid silver guards to protect him. "Babata, enter the virtual universe," Luo Feng ordered. "Haha, I've been waiting for this day." Babata was extremely excited. The moment he opened the account, he wanted to enter the virtual universe. However, the moment he entered, his consciousness had to leave his body. Even though Luo Feng could multitask, he still didn't have the ability to split his consciousness. Hence he had to find a safe place. Connecting to the virtual universe, a low and vast voice resounded within Luo Feng's consciousness. Luo Feng's consciousness was a patch of darkness. This was an ancient city, and the streets were paved with large pieces of cut rock. Although the passers-by on the streets looked strange, with different heights and races, most of them were wearing plain gray clothes, and each of them had a small elf on their shoulder. Shwa! A person suddenly appeared in the stream of people on the street. It was Luo Feng. Luo Feng was dressed in a plain gray robe. On his shoulder sat a fist-sized demon Babata. Babata was also dressed in the same green robe. He was extremely cute, like a little elf. This is the virtual universe network? Luo Feng stood on the street, looking at the flow of people on the street, stunned. Of course. Babata's voice resounded within Luo Feng's mind. "We are currently in the virtual universe's Ganwu continent, on a Black Dragon Mountain Island." Island? Luo Feng blinked. Everyone within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's territory that is connected to the virtual universe network will immediately appear on the Black Dragon Mountain Island. Babata said, "Even though it's an island, the Black Dragon Mountain starfield has over 8,000 galaxies. Countless planets have a large amount of people online. Hence, the area of this island is bigger than any planet in the real universe." Luo Feng was extremely shocked. "Anyone who enters the virtual universe will have a virtual assistant," Babata said. "It's the little elf on everyone's shoulder." The level of intelligence of the virtual assistant depends on whether the user is using a sensor helmet, an assistant quantum computer, an AI quantum computer, or a living AI. Like the little elf formed from the sensor helmet, it doesn't even think, it can only give simple answers. If you order it, it will do it, Babata explained. Luo Feng nodded. In the virtual universe, you can chat with your friends from afar. You can also spend money to teleport and meet in the virtual universe, Babata explained. Also, things like stocks and futures can be used in the virtual universe. You can connect it to your bank account. You can learn martial arts here. You can buy and sell goods here. You can play virtual games. This is a 100% simulation of virtual games. It's exactly the same as reality. There are many types of virtual games. It can be said, as long as you can't think of it, there's nothing the game providers can't do. Games, good food, beautiful women, finance, trading, sparring, learning, there's everything. Babata said, the virtual universe is an incomparably large market compared to any planet. All the elites of the universe are gathered here. Things that can't be done in reality can be done here. Some people treat virtual games as reality, playing for hundreds or even thousands of years, marrying and having children in the game. Of course, the prerequisite is you have the money to play. After all, most of the players in virtual games pay money. Those who earn money are few and far between. Luo Feng was extremely shocked. It was too vast. Compared to the real universe, the virtual universe was incomparably prosperous and attractive. However, virtual is still virtual. Babata said seriously. No matter how long you stay in the virtual universe, you won't be able to train your body. The virtual universe, to the strong, is just a convenient channel. You can use it to get to know and interact with other strong people who have the same goals. You can buy and sell many things that you can't buy on your own. And if you spend all your time in the virtual universe, or even play virtual games, unless you have no pressure, no ambition and money to squander, otherwise you'll end up in tragedy. Babata emphasized. He was very clear on the allure of virtual games, hence he had to remind Luo Feng. Of course, if you play some interactive training games or solo training games, similar to Earth's Tower of Trials, that's possible. Babata added. Tower of Trials? Luo Feng was speechless. Was that a game? It was purely training. Babata, go check the metal combination the golden horned beast needs, and the metal combination for deities of the world. Luo Feng's thoughts said. Within the virtual universe, communicating with Babata's thoughts was still very safe. The virtual universe company claimed that they definitely wouldn't monitor anyone's information, and definitely wouldn't leak anyone's information. These two absolutes were the foundations of the virtual universe company. Luo Feng, the star-level golden horned beast swallowing metal, the best metal combination is 325 B-grade pure metal combinations. It can increase the internal world's growth speed by 89 times. I've already gathered information on these 325 metals. They can be sold even in the universe. Babata quickly gathered all the information he needed. How is it, roughly how much does it cost? Luo Feng asked. 89 times. From star level 1 to universe level 1, the slowest was 100 years. The moment one used the swallowing metal combination, just a little bit a year would allow one to step into the universe level. Universe level, on a planet like Dragonstar, was considered a big figure. In the Milky Way galaxy, one's words carried enormous weight. 1 year's worth would require more than 60 billion black dragon dollars. Babata said. Why so much? A ton of B-grade black iron essence. Isn't it only 9 black dragon dollars? Even though it's a metal combination, it's even more powerful when eaten. But a few 100,000 tons a year is at most. How could it be over 60 billion? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. A few 100,000 tons of black iron essence was only worth a few million black dragon dollars. Luo Feng, your thinking is wrong. Even though a grade metal is cheaper than B-grade metal, B-grade is cheaper than C-grade, C-grade is cheaper than D-grade. This is a rather normal situation. However, there are still some very special metals. Babata said. For example, the C-grade metal liquid silver is used to create the liquid silver guards. One liquid silver guard uses about a ton of liquid silver. A ton of C-grade black yttrium is only 3,000 black dragon dollars. However, one liquid silver guard, do you know how much it costs? Babata asked. Luo Feng was stunned. Right, Gao Xing and the other officials, their reactions when they saw the liquid silver guards, it was obvious they were very expensive, otherwise they wouldn't care so much. One liquid silver guard's price is 280 million black dragon dollars. A ton of liquid silver metal costs 160 million black dragon dollars. Compared to the C-grade black yttrium, it's much, much more expensive. Babata said. It's because liquid silver metal is special and rare, that's why it's so expensive. Much more expensive than many D-grade metals. And your internal world's growth requires 325 different B-grade metal combinations. 3 of them have the space attribute, they are the main materials for creating space items. Hence it's more expensive, plus your amount is too large. Babata explained. Luo Feng laughed helplessly. That was the main material for creating space rings and other items, how could it be cheap? And he had to swallow up to 100 tons a day in a year? 60 billion black dragon dollars, that wasn't expensive. But he had no money. 900 Ganwu dollars, that was equivalent to 900,000 black dragon dollars. Compared to 60 billion, this huge number was too far. Of course, there are other metal combinations that are much cheaper, but they still aren't something you can afford. Babata said, for example, there's a metal combination that costs 10 billion a year, increases your training speed by 39 times. There's also one that costs 3 billion a year, increases your training speed by 20 times. There's also one that costs 100 million a year, increases your training speed by 5 times. The golden horned beast found trouble with metals. However, as a human, finding metals was much easier. In the virtual universe, how many things couldn't be bought? However, he had to spend money. The golden horned beast has a huge appetite. Every day it eats tons and tons. Luo Feng's heart ached. As for deities of the world's metal combinations, they're even more expensive for now. Don't even think about it. Babata said directly. Luo Feng threw all these to the back of his mind, asking the second important question. Babata, if I want Earth to be under my name, I'll become the leader of Earth. What are the conditions? To prevent people from other planets from selling Earth and turning the people of Earth into slaves, the best way is to become the leader of Earth himself, to be recognized by the Empire's laws. Of course, no one can steal a planet with an owner. Become the leader of Earth? Let me see. Babata blinked. Chapter 285. Found it. Babata's search speed was extremely fast. What are the conditions? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Exploring the universe and discovering a new planet, or discovering a planet without a leader, there are 3 choices. Babata said. The first choice is to tell the Empire and receive the Empire's reward. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire will reward you according to the planet. The lowest is 10 billion Black Dragon dollars. The highest is 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. Of course, the first choice, you cannot become Earth's leader. The second choice is to directly buy the planet. As you are the one who discovered it, you will need to spend very little money to buy it. According to the planet's level, you will need to pay at least 300 billion Black Dragon dollars. The highest is 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars. Luo Feng took in a deep cold breath. It was too expensive. However, Luo Feng was clear, the buying and selling of a planet, the price was ridiculous. After all, owning a life planet was equivalent to owning a cornucopia, and a planet's lifespan was usually very, very long. With hundreds of millions of years as the unit of measurement, it could definitely be used as a family treasure. Of course, because a human's lifespan was limited. Hence the buying and selling price of a planet was usually in the trillions of Black Dragon dollars. The third choice is to cooperate with the Empire to manage the planet. You only need to pay at least 100 billion, the highest 1 trillion Black Dragon dollars. Babata said. This cooperation, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire will not interfere with the internal management of the planet. They will only collect the import and export taxes. They won't care about anything else. The second and third choices are both ways to become Earth's leader. Luo Feng listened and nodded. A planet's best way to earn money was through import and export taxes. A planet in the universe, if it didn't have any connections with the outside world, how would it earn universe currency? I don't care about the taxes. I can cooperate with the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. However, I have no money. Luo Feng was helpless. It's not just money, you have no way to apply for Earth to become your territory. Babata said. Why? Luo Feng was curious. How do you apply? Back then, your teacher Hu Yenbo's body traveled through the universe and entered the dark universe, using space techniques. He covered the universe coordinates of close to 1,000 light-years around Earth. Other ships have no way of finding these coordinates. Naturally, they can't travel through the universe to reach Earth. Babata said. Normal ships can only rely on flying close to 1,000 light-years away, flying for close to 1,000 years before reaching Earth. Don't tell me when you applied to become Earth's leader, you said we flew close to 1,000 years and discovered this planet? First of all, A planet discovered after flying for nearly 1,000 years is worthless. No one is willing to spend so much time on trade. Secondly, as long as they are not stupid, they might suspect that you are the descendant of UNMO planet. Unless someone can decipher your teacher's spatial secret technique. In other words, unless a new wormhole is suddenly discovered in the surrounding star field, Earth will still be safe for the time being. Dragon Star, in a private room of a restaurant. His consciousness returned to reality. At least right now Earth is still safe. Luo Feng smiled, picking up the fruit juice beside him and drinking. HM? Luo Feng squinted, creasing his eyebrows. This taste, a very strange smell. The moment he drank it, goosebumps rose all over his body. However, when he tasted it carefully, he found that the taste was truly unique. It had a unique flavor. Ooh. It's our first time drinking this stuff, one more. Luo Feng laughed happily. Buzz, the arm guard on his arm vibrated slightly. On Horned Dragon Star, only Gao Xing had his own communication number. Haha, Luo Feng, my business is done. Let's eat together. Gao Xing shouted. Where? Luo Feng laughed. North District of Horned Dragon City, not far from the slave market, there's a pretty good place to eat. It's called the 100 Flavors Restaurant. Gao Xing said. All right, I'll be there within half an hour. Luo Feng ended the call, raising his head and finishing his first foreign planet fruit juice in one gulp. Smacking his lips twice, he headed out. Milky Way Earth. The sun was resplendent, shining down on the waves of the ocean below. In the air above the ocean, two silhouettes flew side by side, heading towards the Sahara Desert. It was Hong and Thunder God. That third brat actually didn't say anything and just slipped away. Thunder God was fuming. Third brother has to leave for a month. He probably has something important to do. Hong said calmly. How can a man not have his own secrets? When he returns, if he's willing to tell us, he'll tell us. When that time comes, I'll definitely use alcohol to force him to drink. Thunder God gritted his teeth. Hong and Thunder God chatted as they flew. Life on Earth was indeed extremely leisurely. Ever since the swallowing monster incident, Hong, Thunder God and Luo Feng, these three warriors had made humanity stronger than ever. And the two great emperors of the sea monsters had all died, causing the threat level to drop to its lowest. Earth was peaceful. These peaceful days had already lasted for over 2 years. The people of Earth didn't know, in a star field not too far away from Earth, a universe explorer ship with shocking speed was heading straight towards Earth. 320,000 light-years away from Earth, Dragon Star. Dragon Star North District, 100 Flavors Restaurant 2nd level. Over here, over here. A voice resounded. Luo Feng turned to look. Gao Xing stood up and waved. Luo Feng immediately smiled and walked over. Brother Gao Xing, you seem to be in a good mood. Luo Feng sat down. Of course I'm in a good mood. Gao Xing's small eyes shone. He then smiled and proudly said, I'll tell you later. I'll order first. This 100 Flavors restaurant has several famous dishes. Gao Xing slightly waved his hand after saying this. Suddenly, a beautiful and enchanting woman with blue hair came over. Luo Feng looked over. Luo Feng was shocked. This jade-haired woman was beautiful. What shocked Luo Feng the most was, her strength wasn't even at the Star Traveler level. On Dragon Star, most of the people on the streets were Star Traveler levels, a few star levels. The restaurant I went to before to drink fruit juice, the waiters were all normal people. I didn't expect this restaurant to be the same. However, the Virtual Universe Company, and the government's employees, are all Star Traveler level. Luo Feng thought about it and understood. The salaries of normal people were cheap. Maybe they didn't even need a salary. Luo Feng, that woman from before wasn't bad, right? The Dream Shell clan women are all beautiful. Gao Xing blinked. If you like her, take her away, just tell the boss. Take her away? Luo Feng was shocked. A beautiful woman who isn't even a star traveler level, her fate is usually very tragic. Gao Xing exclaimed, "She's not even a citizen, there's no law to protect her. Anyone with a bit of power can kill her whenever he wants, snatch her away whenever he wants. Just grab her and she can be sold as a slave. If she could be like brother Luo Feng, it would be her fortune." Luo Feng was shocked within. Kill her whenever he wanted? Capture her whenever he wanted? Become a slave? Even though Babata had said long ago that those below the star traveler level had tragic fates in the universe, the normal people mostly lived on the mother planet, they didn't even have the qualifications to buy a ship ticket. However, hearing Gao Xing's words, and seeing the beautiful Dream Shell clan woman beside him, who actually had such a fate, he felt even more emotional. "Look, she's peeking at you, brother Luo Feng," Gao Xing teased. Luo Feng's gaze swept. Immediately he saw the Dream Shell clan lady peeking over from the corner of the restaurant. She had obviously heard Gao Xing's words, hence she peeked over, being discovered by Luo Feng. Her face flushed red and she ran into the kitchen. Exquisite dishes were served one by one. It was indeed delicious, incomparably delicious. "Today I went to meet an elder, haha, he really gave me too much face. He actually agreed to let me follow him for a few years and learn well." Gao Xing was beaming with joy. "That elder of mine, he's a big shot in the energy business. Following him, 1, I can learn experience, 2, I can also build connections." Luo Feng was shocked within. Energy business? In the universe, the various planets traded with each other, they relied on ships, transport ships, etc. However, for ships and battleships to fly, they required energy. Even Undying Realm experts needed energy. Whether it was on Earth or in the universe, the energy business had always been an extremely profitable business with extremely high entry requirements, much higher than the slave trade. No matter, without connections, even if you had money, you wouldn't be able to enter. This Gao Xing, his background isn't simple. Luo Feng thought. When his son matured, he gave him a planet. And now Gao Xing was slowly entering the energy business. "Luo Feng, when are you leaving?" "Looks like I'll have to stay on Dragon Star for a few years," Gao Xing said. Very soon, I might have to return today," Luo Feng said. Coming to Dragon Star, his main matters were pretty much done. According to what Babata said, there was only one thing left: to go to the Ganwu Dojo to sign up. After signing up, he could leave Dragon Star. That fast? Gao Xing was a little regretful. "What's your virtual universe number? When we brothers have time, we'll have some fun." "Alright." Luckily, the moment he opened the account, Luo Feng told his virtual universe number to Gao Xing. Gao Xing also told his number to Luo Feng. From now on, even if the two were separated by tens of millions of light years, they could still communicate through the virtual universe. In the dining hall, Luo Feng and Gao Xing were chatting. Suddenly, 3 youths walked up the stairs. All of them were close to 2 m tall, silver hair flowing, their pupils a soul-stirring blue. The 3 of them were dressed in black uniforms. The one in the middle had a metal-like colored pendant on his left chest. "Luo Feng, look, these 3 Ganwu Dojo students, the one in the middle is a resident of Dragon Star. He has his own property here," Gao Xing said softly. Luo Feng looked. That black uniform was the Ganwu Dojo's uniform training uniform. That medal was the identification of a Dragon Star resident. With this medal, it was the safest protection on Dragon Star. "Wei Lin, just lend me your spirit weapon to play with for half a day." Of the 3 students, the one on the left said, "I just bought it for myself." The student in the middle with the medal flipped his hand, and in his hand appeared a strange metal plate that seemed to be formed from an axe blade. On the plate were strange engravings. "This is a level 2 spirit weapon of the highest quality. I begged my family for a long time before I got my bank card. If I'm unable to reach the universe level, this spirit weapon will accompany me for the rest of my life. 6 billion black dragon dollars, that's enough to buy a few C-grade ships. The moment I swipe my card, I'll feel the pinch," that student purposely shouted, causing many people in the dining hall to look over. 6 billion black dragon dollars? Top quality level 2 spirit weapon? Top quality spirit weapon. The two students' eyes gleamed. I won't even dare to think about it in this lifetime. A spirit reader, only with a spirit weapon can he unleash his full power. However, the manufacturing process of a spirit weapon was extremely complicated, hence its price was very high. Much less this top-quality level 2 spirit weapon. Hee. The student called Wei Lin, as though he was caressing a woman's skin, gently stroking the spirit weapon in his hands, his gaze intense. At the distant table, Luo Feng and Gao Xing looked over. Spirit weapon? Luo Feng was slightly startled, asking within, Babata, my soaring shuttle and arc cutter blade, what grade of spirit weapon are they? Update complete. At the same time, Tomato tore open his clothes, revealing his upper body, shouting loudly, I want monthly votes! Chapter 286. Luo Feng, spirit weapons are split into normal, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normal ones have almost no amplification effect, their prices are extremely cheap. Level 1 spirit weapons can unleash a star-level spirit reader's full power. Level 2 spirit weapons are enough for a star-level spirit reader to use. Level 5 are for sector lords. Babata said, your arc cutter blade and soaring shuttle can both be used up to the universe level, hence they are both level 3 spirit weapons. Level 3? Luo Feng was overjoyed within. This young man who came to the restaurant's second floor, that level 2 spirit weapon was already so expensive. His own 2 weapons were probably even more expensive. A weapon, the easier it is to use, the more expensive it is. Babata said. For example, Luo Feng, your soaring shuttle's second form requires an amplification of 30 before it can be used. Because you have the golden horned beast's body, that's why your consciousness is so strong. And normally only a star level 5 or 6 can reach this requirement. Especially the third form is even more insane, an amplification of 48 universe level with a domain, it has 3 requirements, Babata said. Luo Feng was stunned. Same level 2 spirit weapon, if one requires an amplification of 30, the other requires 20 to unleash the same power. Which do you think is more expensive? Babata asked. Luo Feng nodded. Hence, this young man called Wei Lin, his weapon is extremely easy to use, hence it's called a level 2 high quality. Your soaring shuttle's requirements are too high, hence it's a level 3 low quality. Your arc cutter blade's requirements are slightly lower, it's a level 3 middle quality. If you buy the soaring shuttle from a weapon shop, it's about 5 billion black dragon dollars. And the arc cutter blade, it's about 20 billion. Babata explained. The difference is that huge? Luo Feng was shocked. He felt that the 2 weapons' power was about the same. The price difference was shocking. Of course the difference is huge. A weapon, other universe level 1 can use it, but yours, you have to wait until the universe level 7 or 8 to use it. How can it be the same? Babata asked. Luo Feng understood a little. Level 3 high quality, that's 100 billion. Level 3 high quality, that's about 500 billion. Babata said casually. To a universe level warrior, spending hundreds of billions to buy a good weapon is very normal. To the strong, the most important things are weapons, battle suits, secret techniques, and then the flying ship. A universe-level warrior, joining an empire, could easily obtain over 10 planets as his territory. Such an expert indeed wouldn't care too much about a few hundred billion. Second floor of the restaurant. Many customers were distracted by the conversation between the 3 young men. 6 billion. That was an astronomical figure even for a star state. As long as my telekinesis amplitude reaches 18, I will be able to unleash its second stage power. The young man called Wei Lin slightly waved the strange golden disc in his hand proudly. Whoosh, the golden disc instantly flew up and flew in the corridor on the second floor of the restaurant. Wei Lin was very proud of himself. The golden disc flew past the waitresses, scaring them. Ha ha, don't be afraid. My control is very strong. Wei Lin was extremely pleased with himself. What exquisite control! The two students at the side also flattered. Just as she walked out of the kitchen with the tray in her hands, she saw a blue-haired waitress charging at her with a golden light. She was so frightened that her hands trembled, causing the tray to spill. The sauce of the dish just so happened to spill on the golden round plate that was doing an exquisite, circling flight beside her, causing the golden round plate to become dirty right away. My spirit weapon! Wei Lin's expression changed, screaming. The golden disc landed in front of him. Looking at the black sauce on the disc, Wei Lin was so angry his entire body was trembling. Just like on Earth, when a car lover just bought a new car, only to have food splashed on it, that feeling of anger. This spirit weapon was many times more expensive than a car. After spending 6 billion black dragon dollars, in Wei Lin's heart, this spirit weapon was even more important than his girlfriend. To actually be splashed with sauce on the first day. Bastard! Wei Lin's gaze swept across the jade-haired waitress, gritting his teeth. Bitch, go and die! Rumble! The golden disc became a golden beam of light, flying straight towards the waitress. No. The waitress's face was filled with fear, she couldn't even dodge in time. Waves of formless and strong spirit energy, like dense vines, swiftly coiled around the golden disc, causing the golden light to fly in an arc, crashing into the wall beside. Rumble, the wall that could withstand a star-level warrior's attack had a dent in it, but the window immediately exploded and flew out. One of the window frames swept across the waitress's arm, causing it to break, fresh blood staining the floor. Sir, stop! A silhouette appeared at the side. It was the restaurant manager. Who blocked me? Wei Lin roared in anger, looking around. Sir! The restaurant manager shouted. Who the hell are you? Wei Lin pointed at the restaurant manager. Didn't you see, your people dirted my spirit weapon? Do you know what weapon this is, how much it's worth? 6 billion black dragon dollars. Even if you sold your entire restaurant, you wouldn't be able to afford it. You actually dirted my spirit weapon. The restaurant manager was already a star level. Hearing the 6 billion number, his face turned ugly. Sir, I'm sorry. The restaurant manager turned around, his cold gaze sweeping across the waitress, not caring about the broken arm waitress at all. Who dirted the customer's weapon? Being stared at by the restaurant manager, the jade-haired waitress was filled with fear. She was very clear on how strong the restaurant manager was. In her hometown, a star-level warrior was already a demon king, an unrivaled and powerful being. And on Horned Dragon's Star, where powerful beings were everywhere, their restaurant manager was a star-level warrior. It's her. Wei Lin pointed at the jade-haired waitress. Sir, she's yours now, you can do whatever you want with her. The restaurant manager smiled at Wei Lin. Sir, everything you spend here today is free. Who interfered just now? Wei Lin's gaze swept across every customer. Which spirit reader? What, you had the guts to be a hero saving a damsel in distress, but now you don't have the guts to admit it. Bastard, come out. Come out. As a resident of Dragonstar, they had the safest protection. Even a universe-level warrior wouldn't dare kill a resident of Dragonstar. This was the privilege of a resident. Hence, Wei Lin was so unbridled. Who? You don't dare admit it? Wei Lin's gaze swept across every single person. Bastard, what are you shouting for? A cold voice resounded. Wei Lin immediately looked over. The one who spoke was the calm and relaxed black-haired youth with the liquid silver guards standing behind him. The entire restaurant was silent. With one look, it was obvious this was a big family's fight, hence most people kept quiet. Oh, who are you? Wei Lin carefully examined Luo Feng. Luo Feng couldn't be bothered with Wei Lin's background. No matter how big your background is, I'll leave soon and return to Earth. Earth's dark universe coordinates were hidden by my teacher's space technique. Even an undying warrior would have a hard time breaking it. Once I return to Earth, even if you're the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's crown prince, you won't be able to do anything to me. Haha, brother, I just said you liked this lady, you still won't admit it? Gao Xing laughed from the side. No, I just can't bear to see this place spilled with blood. Luo Feng laughed. Wei Lin saw that the other two didn't even look at him, instead chatting amongst themselves. He couldn't help but feel even more frustrated. The star-level restaurant manager was extremely embarrassed. On a normal planet, a star level was an invincible warrior. However, on Dragon's Star, where fish and dragons mixed together, he had to be extremely careful. Didn't he see they were using 6 billion spirit weapons? Didn't he see on the other side, the 4 bodyguards standing behind him were all star levels? And 2 liquid silver guards? Neither side was easy to mess with. I say, brother. Gao Xing glanced at Wei Lin. Is there a need to bother with a pitiful little lady who hasn't even reached the Star Traveler level? You're losing points. And who are you? Wei Lin looked at Gao Xing. Gao Xing, Emperor Wei. Gao Xing said casually. Emperor Wei? Wei Lin creased his eyebrows, turning to look at Luo Feng. You still haven't told me your identity. Just a spirit reader. Luo Feng waved his hand. Who? 2 golden beams of light flew around. This scene made the restaurant manager break out in cold sweat. Damn, 2 spirit weapons? The group of customers on the restaurant's second floor all had gleaming eyes. To them, Dragon Star was a planet even more prosperous than the Imperial Capital Star. Coming here was just for sightseeing. Coming to Dragon Star. It was indeed an eye-opener. Wei Lin squinted, with his vision. One look and he could tell that these 2 spirit weapons weren't any weaker than his. Emperor Wei? Don't tell me it's the legendary Emperor Wei family? Wei Lin gritted his teeth, not making a sound, not leaving any pleasantries. He turned and left. The other 2 students followed him and left. Haha, interesting. Gao Xing laughed. I didn't expect to encounter such a thing on my first visit to Dragon Star. Hee. My actions earlier, did I bring trouble to brother Gao Xing? Luo Feng was a little embarrassed. He just patted his butt and returned to Earth. However, this Gao Xing said he would be back in the next few years. No problem, just a little brat. Gao Xing laughed. On this Dragon Star, there's no one I can't afford to offend. Damn. Luo Feng laughed involuntarily. Those words were awesome. However, Luo Feng didn't know. The children of the family, the coming-of-age ceremony to receive a planet, such treatment was shocking. If he really understood, he would understand the power of Gao Xing's family. Manager. Gao Xing shouted. Sir. The restaurant manager ran to one side. He had heard it before. There was no one on Dragon Star that they couldn't afford to offend, who would dare to say such a thing. Even the Emperor of the Silver Blue Empire wouldn't dare say such a thing. Unless it was someone from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, or someone even more powerful. That waitress will follow me later. Gao Xing said. Yes, sir. The restaurant manager smiled. It's her honor. Gao Xing nodded. The restaurant manager left and went downstairs. Luo Feng smiled at Gao Xing. You've taken a liking to her? No. Gao Xing's chubby face was full of smiles. After this incident, this restaurant definitely wouldn't dare keep this waitress. They'll throw her into the slave market. When that time comes, her fate will definitely be tragic. This person, just can't see beautiful women suffering. Anyway, I just want a few servants on Dragon Star. I'll just take them. Right, if you like her, you can take her. Luo Feng laughed. I'm a vagabond, I'll follow you. Vagabond? Are you training or something? Oh, forget I asked. Right, after we've finished eating, how about we make a trip to the slave market? Getting a few slaves to be servants and bodyguards, that's not a bad idea. Gao Xing suggested.
Slave market?
Luo Feng nodded, all right.